Hey everybody, this is Connor, Boats Don't Sink, here with Iron City Games. We've got pretty much the whole team here today. We've got Anthony,
What up?
and we have Gothmom TCG Hilary here. Hilary, you alive?
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Alright.
Hello.
Alright, so we're doing That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Vol.2 set review. Set comes out this Friday. We will have plenty of singles available for you at Iron City Games on TCG Player. You can check out our website or you can check us out on Facebook. Without further ado, let's get into the set. So, a couple things before we get started. The main things to focus on in this set as we're going through the cards, there's actually not a whole lot. This is a pretty generic set, similar to set 1. Has a little bit of a memory focus as its main mechanic. You're going to have some cards that go to memory, some cards that check for memory. The big one is an event called Fruits of Wisdom. There are a lot of cards that check for it in memory. But otherwise, there's just one trait in this set. You don't get a mishmash of like off trait cards or anything like that to worry about. So everything is pretty generic. We like those sets. They're easy to think about. So moving into the booster pack, there's no trial deck for this set, just a booster pack. First card that we have is For My Comrades Rimuru. This is a Brainstorm. So when your other character's battle opponent becomes reversed, choose one of your Demon Continent characters, give it plus 500 power until end of turn. And a pay 1 rest this card, Brainstorm. For each Climax, you search your deck for a Demon Continent character. I know, Anthony, you liked this Brainstorm profile?
Yeah, no, I really like the first effect of this card a lot. Um, we talk about this a lot, but really value winning board, and this can also allow you to win board earlier. So I think it's pretty sweet. I don't like that it's a search brainstorm, but that's
Yeah,
whatever.
I think Anthony and I are both for sure in the camp of salvage Brainstorms are generally better. Hilary, how do you feel about Brainstorms?
Ooh. I'm kind of split on this. I do like the option of being able to search my deck for whatever character, but at the same time, if I know I don't have that character in my deck, the Salvage Brainstormer always saves me. Um, I do agree with Anthony on this. I really like the first effect. But yeah, I wish it was a salvage, to be honest.
Yeah, the main thing about salvage is that you have the knowledge of what your like actual available pool of targets is before you
Yeah.
go into it. The first effect here is cool. It helps you if you're not really playing an on reverse combo in this set most likely, so it's not going to matter a whole lot there. But if you are playing any counters, right, you can counter win one lane and that lets you pump the next lane a little bit. So pretty cool brainstorm
Mm.
effect. Moving on to our second card, we have Decapitating Demon Blade Shion. So this is our level 1 combo for the 8 choice deck. It's one of the sort of main builds they're pushing for this set is 8 choice, the other being 8 standby. It's 4,500 power. If all of your characters are Demon Continent, it gets 1,000, so 55 base. And when this card attacks, if Decapitating Demon Blade is in your Climax area and you have 4 or more other characters, you may choose a character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. This is a free selective plus. Uh, Slight problem that I know some people have run into with it is that you have to have a full board, so you can't just like hit level 1, play 3 of these, attack out, and be able to get your combo. You do actually have to have other characters to fill your entire board. What do y'all think on this one?
Uh, I mean,
I'm
it's great because it's a choice. It's kind of small. 5/5 is it attacks for 6/5, I guess is fine, but my big issue is usually level 1 combo without having some sort of mill tied to the combo, you don't have great selectivity on the salvage.
Right.
So I'm not a I'm this combo is fine. It's much better later in levels, but I don't think it's good.
Yeah, I agree. It's okay. I think it's great for the eight choice build, but for me personally, I'm just kind of like it's okay, but it's not it wouldn't be my go-to option, I guess. But for eight choice, I understand why it is the go-to combo. But yeah, I don't like the option of have or not the option, need to have the full board. That's a little concerning.
Yeah. One of the cool things, since this is in yellow, you get access to Ramorous in yellow from set one.
Oh yeah.
Since this has pretty much like you don't have to reverse or do anything like that. You just have to have the board. It makes it pretty easy to loop because you can just play Ramorous and like summon these copies of them back for pretty easy looping on the combo, which helps the deck a bit. But they are kind of small, so they lose value on board pretty quickly.
I also think it's worth noting that I actually think it's worse because it's yellow. Because at least from the set one standpoint, the good 1-0 back row card's blue,
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah,
which
you don't
which can
get.
make it which
Yeah,
can make it really awkward for level requirements at level 1.
that's fair. That's fair. There is another back row that you'd probably play over that one in the yellow deck. So it's not the biggest loss in the world. We'll get to that card. It's a rare, so we'll see it pretty soon. But they do have a way to replace that at least in yellow. Next card we have the last double rare in yellow, Inherited Form Rimuru. So this is the finisher for the 8 choice deck. It's the only other choice in the set. It's when placed on stage from hand or by the Climax combo effect of itself. You may put the top card of your clock into your waiting room so it heals on play. And Climax combo, at the end of this card's attack, if Nameless Story is in your Climax area, you may pay 3, discard 1 card, and put this into your memory. If you do, put the top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. If all those cards are Demon Continent characters or Yellow Climax, you may choose 1 character in your waiting room, put it on the stage position this card was on. They make you jump through a lot of hoops for this combo. The main thing I think they were trying to do here is not let you play the set 1 Shizu level 1 combo. Which means you also don't get to play the set 1 Shizu early play. Because you miss on Mask, and you miss on the blue Climax. And you have to pay the cost before you mill, so you can't just mill the 2, and if they're not your hits, don't pay the cost. You have to pay the cost first. So they really force you into, you have to play, 8 choice, and no events. Which is iffy, but combo's pretty good. It's resource efficient. If you have 8 stock at your main phase, you can get up to 7 attacks and 4 heals, which is a lot for 8 stock starting main phase. And you obviously still get pretty good payoff even with less than that. Or if you have less stock and triggered choices, you can get there anyway. How do you feel about this as a finisher in the set? Something set 1 didn't really have finishers that were too good.
This card's insane. I mean, this is the whole reason to play 8 choice, in my opinion. Like you deal with the fact that you have a bad level 1, or not a bad, but a passable level 1 combo to play this top end. I mean, attacking 7 times,
This
and
makes up for it.
and you get 4 heals. Like, I don't know. I think this card's really good. I do like the fact that I do like the fact that we have a good finisher for the set, because I played a lot of set 1 and no finishers was horrible.
Right. And notably, since you get to, he can summon himself off of his effect, right? So you can get the heals and keep looping the combo that way. But there's also anything that has like on attack or on reverse value, you also can summon out and get pretty good value out of. So there's a level 3 in this set that heals on attack, so you can get even more heals that way. Or you can bring out the clock kick from set 1, right? Because that's,
I was just about to say that.
yeah, it's cross turn, just pay 3 clock kick. So it costs a lot of stock, but you can bring that out as your sort of like final attack off of this. Hilary, you like this card?
I do. So I like it because it's meldable. Like, you can do so much with this card. Like you were saying, you can either continue the loop, bring out more of itself, bring out clock kickers, bring out the on attack healers. I really like the Climax combo, the first effect. It's like just the idea of the continuous loop until the end of your attack is just, I'm glad to see something different. Like, to me, this stands out as something I haven't seen before, personally, since I've
Yeah, it's
been
very
playing.
unique.
But
And
yeah,
usually
it's very
this,
unique, so that's why it stands out to me.
yeah, usually this kind of combo is like on cancel, right? Because we got like the new Bang Dream one, or Puyo
Mm.
Puyo had
Oh
this,
yeah.
and like Phantom had it, where it's like if the damage is canceled, you get to summon a new thing. But this one's just end of attack, so you get to actually get like reach out of it.
Yeah.
So really
Yeah, I
good
do
card.
like this.
I think
Mm.
I think 8 choice is definitely like a really viable build, sort of on the back of this card being able to end games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that you can't play events though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes it
that's
awkward because set one has the mask, and this set has like event packages too, so makes it kind of awkward.
I think yeah, that agreed. And that's probably one of the reasons like you lose that ability to kind of like use events, and it makes it kind of awkward, but at the same time you're gaining all these different like effects and things that you can kind of like play around with, so that it's kind of like the price you pay for having a finisher like this for 8 choice.
Right. So speaking of events, looking at our next card, it is part of the event package for this set. Case Complete Rimuru is a global plus 500 power to all your Demon Continent characters, and on play, put one card from your hand into your waiting room, search your deck for up to one Fruits of Wisdom, reveal it to your opponent, put it in your hand, and shuffle. This is sort of your equivalent to the Chloe Zero from set 1 that searched Mask. This searches your event for this set. The event, it's a 1/1 that goes to memory, reveal top card of deck. If it's an event or Demon Continent character, put it in hand. And then while it's in memory, it's 500 to your board on your turn. So it's the same as like if you've played the Sword from Adventure Time, it's that same profile. I don't know that this package is actually like nearly as good as the stuff around Mask, so this card probably doesn't see play. But it's just a little bit of a consistency boost. I don't think there's a whole lot going on here with this card.
Yeah, I don't like how Rimuru's yellow and the event's blue, but that's just a personal. I wish it was like a yellow event or something, but
Sure,
that
yeah.
that's my only dislike of that card, or the bond sort
Yeah.
of thing.
And I think like Chloe being, she was a what like 2K that goes to 35 on like on play.
Yeah.
So I think her being a card that you want to actively attack with makes it a little better as a bond, right? Because this is a card that if you're just playing these to get more copies of your event, they're kind of like really bad attackers. But Chloe could at least kill zeros if you wanted to search your masks early.
Hmm.
So I think this is overall a bit worse. So not too thrilled about this card. But we'll see more
Yeah,
of
agreed.
the Fruits of Wisdom package later. Next card we have is This Belongs to Me Shion. On play from hand, put top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. If there's a climax, give a character plus 1500. And on play, give a character plus 1500. Nothing in this set really needs to win board outside of the level 3 combo, which we didn't mention. It is at end of attack, so if you get removed, you don't get combo, right? So like memory kick counters or clock kicks or stuff. So power kind of matters for that in some matchups. Though you also have tech that can just like bounce stuff so you can get open lanes. But in general, power doesn't matter on offense for Slime, because like all your combos are just on attack. So I don't think this card really has much of a home.
It doesn't stand out. It's
No.
pretty.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
pretty standard like power pump stuff that in some
Yep.
sets it might matter, doesn't here. Next card we have Drawn Out Battle Rimuru. This is a 1045. On play from hand, all players perform the following action. If your memory has 5 or more cards, choose 4 of them and put the rest into your waiting room. So you get to keep 4 memory, you lose the rest. I don't know why you'd ever play this in Slime when like you actually have good cards that go to memory. It's kind of like this effect in Madoka, right? They're like, here's all this stuff that goes to memory, and here's also a way to drain your memory. It's like cool, I guess, but these effects usually aren't even impactful enough like on your opponent to be worth playing, so I definitely don't think they're worth playing when they also hurt you.
Yeah.
Other effect on it is on play from hand. You can discard 1 to play a level 0 or lower from your waiting room to any position of your stage. Also usually not a great effect. It can help you just like with consistency on getting your brainstorm into play if you don't draw it or stuff like that. But otherwise, it's pretty useless, honestly. There's not many level
I,
zeros you want to be summoning out once you're already level 1.
yeah, it comes off as like just a filler card. Like it had. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not loving it at all.
it definitely feels pretty filler. Moving on, this card is the back row for the 8 choice deck that I was talking about earlier. This kind of replaces the potion making Rimuru in those builds. So Savant Hakuro, it's an assist. All of your Demon Continent characters in front of it get 500 times their level. So your level 1 combo is going to be getting 500 power off of it, but if you start early playing, he has a 1500 assist for those. So he's really good with like Shion early play. There's a Ranga early play in this set. He works really well with. Second effect is when your character's trigger check reveals a yellow climax, again kind of pushing you into 8 choice. If there are 1 or less markers under this, you may choose a card in your waiting room, put it face up under this as a marker. And then his last effect is pay 1 and put 2 markers from under him into your waiting room to choose a yellow card in your waiting room and return it to your hand. So, whereas the Rimuru was good at making stock, and then like also had the option to be able to heal, this guy is card advantage, and he kind of lets the choice triggers make the stock for you. And he's just card advantage and some extra power. But the third effect specifically says yellow card, so you can add climaxes off of it, which also helps with looping your level 1 combo or just having consistency on the level 3 combo. Since it heals and it's not digging for its own climax, you can use Hakuro to like guarantee that you get the climax in hand for the combo.
This card's sweet, but I still don't think it's better than the other one.
Still don't think it's better than the other one.
I really don't. I think the other card isn't reliant on you to trigger climaxes for it to be impactful.
Sure. The other one's
Um,
also free to play down.
yes, I think this card
This has a soul
is
trigger. This does have a soul
yes.
trigger though.
Okay, it does have a soul trigger. You can add it back on your choice. That's fine. I think the assist actually might be more impactful in like in the first version of the deck. From set 1, like because I mean, pumping your early plays is pretty sweet. But man, this set has a lot of good back row cards between the first set and this set, so it's really hard to decide what your 2 are going to be every game.
It does. I can agree with that for sure.
I think
Still a
we
really
haven't
good card.
really. Yeah, it's still really a really good card. It's probably at least what we've gone over so far. It's my favorite rare. I like that option of like the choose yellow card. So it's like what you said before, Connor, where you could choose a climax or you could choose maybe a finisher, that sort of thing. So it definitely sticks with the
Sort of
what is it?
toolboxy nature that a lot of the stuff
Yeah,
has.
I really like the toolbox portion of the card. I do like that it has a soul trigger too. So yeah, this is definitely so far my favorite rare that I've seen for yellow. Um, but yeah, I get the point of the other assist though.
Yeah, I do agree with
I
Anthony that this one's a little slow, like on the startup, because you do have
Yeah,
to be triggering your climaxes for it to do really anything.
I also
yeah.
don't like the fact that you basically when you get 2 markers, you either have to use the act ability to salvage something or you no longer get the added value of getting markers.
Sure.
Um,
Well,
so
That's very true.
the first one couldn't stack markers either, though. So
sure, but like at least every like you're basically generating half a stock a turn.
yeah,
Um, guaranteed, and like I think that card's really good with the 3/2 double rare finisher in this set where you can add another copy of the finisher underneath it, put it in your stock, and then pay it out with stock so you can have one you're waiting to summon back.
that's fair. That is very true. That is very true.
Um, like I think this card's also good at doing that because you can just marker them early and then just
Yep.
keep the 2 markers, and then like your finisher turn, pay 1, get rid of the markers, get 1 back, or get the climax back, and boom, go from there.
Yeah. One kind of cool thing that this can do is if you're about to refresh before your finisher turn and don't think you're gonna be able to get like all of your good summon targets and stuff into your waiting room, you can marker like extra characters to summon. Or it markers a card, so you can marker the climax to sort of like hold it through refresh and be able to tutor it back. Um, which is kind of neat. I don't know how often that comes up, but it definitely isn't limiting in any aspects, right? Where like the potion making Rimuru has to marker a character, so you can't really manipulate your climaxes with it. This one doesn't give you any like limitations, really. So yeah, moving on to our next card, we have Secretary and Bodyguard Shion. This is just your pretty standard standby target. It's plus 1,000 for each other Demon Continent character, so it's 10k on a full board, and it has character encore. A little sad that it's not a 10-5, because they still seemingly like at random either make these 6k with character encore or 6,500 with put a traded character from your hand into your waiting room. I don't know why they just like still print both of them. It seems like the 8 standby sets tend to get the 10k, and the sets that aren't standbying as consistently get the 10-5s. But yeah, sad that this isn't a 10-5.
Sad that it isn't a 10-5 or a 10k with another effect like Kaitis.
That's true. But you'd have Encore. Encore is kind of your second effect here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sad that's not 10-5, but I think that's just because I got spoiled on the Marceline Monstrosity, or what is it, Monstrosities? Yeah. And so I was kind of like, yeah, this just reminds me of like the Kurumi 2-2, but it's just a standard standby target. There's nothing like special
It's better
or
better than every level 2 standby target in the first set.
oh yeah.
So this is one of your two potential targets. There's another one that's a common that we'll see a bit later. That is also yellow. Our next card is the last rare. I think this is. Oh yeah, last should be last rare. Cool Beauty Shion. So this is when placed on stage from hand or by the auto effect of chance to perform Ranga. This gets plus 4,500 power and the following ability till end of opponent's turn. During this card's battle, all players cannot play backup from their hand. This is a pretty standard effect that we're seeing on level 3s every now and then. It's really good at just winning board at level 2. This can be early played by the Ranga. The effect isn't really as good at level 3, but it is really good for controlling the board at level 2. Other effect is on attack, pay 1, discard a Demon Continent character. If you have another Demon Continent character, when it attacks, you may pay the cost. If you do, put the top card of your clock into your waiting room. So this is an on attack heal, which means that it is also usable with the 8 choice finisher, since you can summon this off of it and attack and still get your effect. The Ranga here is just an early play if you have 2 or more copies of the Shion in waiting room, and on play pay 1 to summon the Shion. So you get sort of a double early play package here.
I love the first part of this card. I don't like. Well, I still talk about the things I don't like about this card first. So usually in a perfect world, I refreshed at 1/6, go to 2-0 on new deck, and clock to draw 2-1 or something. I have no. I mean, my waiting room is basically right.
Where are your Shions to like hit
Yep.
your early play condition?
But I think this is where the 1/1 back row comes into play. The Hakuro comes in. You can marker 2 of these underneath it, and then pay 1, take the markers out. I think that's neat. It's really reliant on the fact that you hit 2 choices in your first deck.
Yeah.
But I love the first part of this card. I mean, I love the effects of on play plus 4,500 no backups, especially in where if you win board right now, you're gonna win the game.
Yeah,
9 times out of 10, if you
level
win
2 is
board,
really important.
yep. And so I also love the second effect. Like you said, I think this card is probably my favorite card in the set. I just think it's kind of
Yeah, very hard to early play. And some people I've been talking to that actually have been testing sort of like the 8-choice build and stuff. Some people have been cutting it just because it is so hard to get to get your clock compression and get the early play off.
Yeah.
I think consistency is key when you're building your deck. Obviously, it's just how powerful is this to warrant your deck not being as consistent, right?
Yeah, this is also a card that you have to play at like 4 copies if you want to be early playing it, because you need two in waiting room for the Ranga. So that's like at least 6 slots out of your deck for this package, probably.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it
No.
consistently, but I think it's really cool.
I would almost say like maybe for a waifu build, but then it wouldn't really work with like the Ranga depending. So
Yeah.
it's hard.
There's
It's
a home
really
for
hard
it.
to
There's
pull
a
that
home for
off.
it somewhere. We just have to figure out where.
Somewhere.
Right? Yeah. All right, moving on to our next card, we have a Great Sword Wielder Shion. This is just on play, discard a Climax, salvage. I don't think it's particularly useful in this set because there's no green, so you don't have treasures, and like you're not really playing a whole lot of gate triggers either. Like there's the set one Shizu, but that deck has enough discard outs already. The trial deck Reamer is just better than this, right? Just discard a Climax, salvage, and the I'm sorry, this is Search. I'm dumb. I didn't even read this card.
Gosh,
you still don't have climaxes to discard though, so I don't know what we're doing here.
Read.
You still don't have climaxes to discard, so. It's like, why is this 1K?
I don't think you've ever played Slime because I've had turn 1s with 5 climaxes in my hand in Slime. So
That's just
That's
white,
just player
though.
skill. But right, like even in those scenarios, the trial deck Reamer is probably just better because it gives you 2 discard outs instead of 1.
Yeah, no, I agree with you
100%.
For sure.
This is probably better like in exactly like the first 2 turns of the game, right? Because your deck is still big, you want to be getting cards out of it, getting your level 1 combo and stuff like that. So this is probably like exactly better in the first couple turns of the game, and then worse after that, I think. So probably not worth playing.
Yeah. It's a like subpar sub for the TD Rimuru.
Yeah.
So
it's an uncommon though, so it's basically free if you're trying to get the discard out.
Yeah, like if.
Oh sure, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Next card we have Icicle Lance Aaron. On play, look at top 2, put them back in any order. On attack, if you have 1 or less other characters, you may put the top card of your deck into your waiting room. If it's level 0, put it on any position of your backstage. They print this effect a lot now. I think these 2 effects are like the best combination that this second effect could have, because it lets you control hitting, but is still usually just not good enough, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a plus, but you don't.
It's fodder.
So many of your level 0s have like relevant on-play effects that getting the plus is just not super worth it. It's a little better now because we have a good runner oversized in this set. That like hitting that off of this turn 1 is like sweet, but
this card's awesome, man. I don't know what you mean. Like I love free pluses, even if I play this and put my Ricky onto stage and just have a nice warm body. I love it.
Free plus does help you hit your full board condition easier for the level 1 combo. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Just play 4 brainstorms and play 4 this card and 4 the chaser and good.
Like and then 4 Ricky, yeah.
Yeah, I mean you don't even need to play Ricky.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah, my bad.
This can't get your level 1 combo. But yeah, maybe that's feasible. It's like realistic. Next card we have Flash Hakuro. This is an oversize. You cannot play event cards or backup from your hand. And when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may put that character into your opponent's stock. If you do, put the bottom card of your opponent's stock into their waiting room. First effect seems really bad in this set because Mask is really good, and you have some like decent backups, and even the events from this set are kind of good. So that's a little sketchy to me. However, the second effect I actually really like. You can kill like Wildberry Princess, right, and like deny the search or like anything with similar effects to that. You can also, against Fate, you can kill their stuff and they can't clock encore it.
Fun fact: Slime Vol.1, their prevalent level 1 combo is a 4K on defense.
You can also play a Climax
Yep.
and reverse your opponent's Shizu 1-0 and deny them the memory. Yes.
Fun fact: this card seems really good.
In the title cup, this card is probably a 4 of.
Oh, 100%. Like,
This card's
100%.
actually like probably pretty decent, honestly, as like an oversized. This card
I
probably
think
goes
this card's good.
in and out of being playable, just depending on how many things it actually like turns off at level 0 and like beats. And obviously you're probably not playing this if you're actually playing Mask, but in a deck like 8 choice where you're not playing events anyway, this is probably a pretty good 0 to be playing.
This works. Yeah, I see the point in playing him in the 8 choice build.
Yeah.
But God, that first ability just hurts me.
It's like some sets, that first ability, you're like, oh wow, I'm not playing these anyway. We just jam 4 of this card. And then like in other sets, it's like, oh, I have to play events though. So
yeah, exactly.
This card's really hit or miss, but I think when it's a hit, it's really good.
I think when we talk about oversizes in general, I think this is one of the better ones. I mean, like the oversized chaser is really good, obviously, but the second effect is so good.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty solid second effect. All right. Next card we have a 1-0 with a soul trigger. Reproach Rimuru. When this attacks, this gets plus X power until end of turn. X is the number of other demon continent characters you have times 1,000. So full board, this attacks for 7,500. And it has a soul trigger. It's obviously just meant for the 8 choice deck.
But it's actually interesting because, you know, back in the old days of Slime 1, you would play the robot dude.
Yeah,
and you would summon him, and this card's just bigger, and it has a soul trigger.
Yeah, this card's just better than like Elemental Colossus or the kids.
This card's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I love this
it just doesn't really have room for it, right? Because like the
well, I mean, if you're playing Ramorous, you probably just play 1 or 2 of it.
Right. Yeah, I think you can justify like 1.
Yeah.
On your combo turn, this is gonna kill standby targets, right? Like
yeah,
this is 75 plus your Climax, 85.
85 plus your Brainstorm if something gets reversed. Like this card's sweet.
Yeah. So this can definitely like contest standby targets if you want to be playing it. Next we have Misunderstanding Rimuru. This is our other Climax combo for the set. It's a 2/1. -1 level if you have 4 or more Demon Continent characters. And Climax combo at end of attack. If you have 4 or more other Demon Continent characters, you may put the Climax, Reliable Existence, from your Climax area to your waiting room. Look at up to 2 from the top. Choose up to 2 Demon Continent characters. Put them in your hand. Put the rest in waiting room. And then salvage 1. So this gets you 3 cards at end of attack without needing to reverse. If you hit 2 characters off the top. It's always going to give you at least the selective one from your waiting room. And will give you up to 2 off the top in addition to that.
Why couldn't this be choice and the other 1-0 be the win combo?
If this was on a choice, this
moly.
This might be better than the 1-0 combo if this was on choice.
Oh, it's 100% better than the 1-0 combo because
it is only a 7K, right? And it costs stock to play.
The other card's a 4/5 or whatever.
I know.
Well, okay, the other one's small, but the other one doesn't cost you stock, right? You can't loop this as easily off of like Ramorous and stuff.
Well, and you can't Ricky it, which is a relevant thing.
Yeah.
But you can loop it a lot easier because you play 8 choice.
That is true. Your choice triggers would be able to add it. Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. I think this card's way better than the other 1-0 combo. I wish it was on a choice, but it's on a win, so it's just unplayable.
Yeah, that hurts kind of bad. It does still work with the Hakuro assist, because all that cares about is yellow Climaxes. So if you wanted to play this, you are still able to use the Hakuro 1/1, and since that's a level assist, this is getting 1K instead of just 500 off of it.
Sure, but what are the like? I mean,
I don't think it's worth playing the return trigger though.
Like, well, no, but that's also assuming that going into your level 1, you have 2 stock. And you have both of them in your hand. Like you don't have to Ricky for the assist or something.
Yeah, that's such like a slim possibility.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Unfortunate. Cool
Very.
card, bad climax. Next we have Magnificent Swordwork Hakuro. This is another early play. If For My Comrades Rimuru, that's the double rare Brainstorm, is in your clock, gets -1 level. On play, draw up to 2, discard 2, and put up to 1 from the top of your deck into your stock. And on attack, give one of your characters plus 1500 power. It's probably pretty consistent to early play, and it only costs you 1 stock to early play it. But I don't think it really gives you much value. I'm gonna be real. This set has a lot of good early plays anyway.
Yeah.
This card's bad, but if
It's
it
kind of
was
good in a way. I don't know.
if you cared about reverses, maybe I guess it's good for beating board.
If you didn't already have other early plays that were like
like there's
enormous anyway.
definitely
If this
definitely
card
better options, but
if this
I don't
card
know.
checked top X like Jake, where X is the number of characters you have, it's good.
Maybe, yeah.
Fair.
I think the draw 2, ditch 2, like man, yeah, I just
Only costing 1 stock is like kind of the draw to the card, but I don't think it's enough
Yeah.
of a draw because like
But,
your
like-
8 choice, you have resources anyway, right?
yeah, but that's also meaning that I have to hold the brainstorm in my hand the whole game until I play this card.
Just run 4.
Sure, but then I have to play this before I play my healer, like
Yeah.
so like now I might like if I'm playing a 2 or fewer
Right.
climax
Okay, that's
healer,
another
like
thing. Yeah,
I might
you have to play this before your healer because all the healers heal off the top.
Just
yeah.
throw away all logic.
This card's a 1.
Yeah. This one ain't
Maybe
it.
if.
This one
On to
ain't
the next
it.
one.
Alright, we got 3 rules, Rimuru. This is also sort of a replacement for the set 1 potion making. This is a 500 assist. You can rest it. If there's not a marker under it, you can marker a Demon Continent character from your waiting room. And then pay 1, rest this card to return the marker from under this to your hand. So this is also card advantage, but it's delayed. Normally these are like pay 2, rest, salvage. This one's pay 1, rest, salvage, but it takes 2 turns.
This card is really good, except you have to wait a turn to get your value. So I don't think it's very good.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's like particularly better than just the pay 2 rest salvage cards.
And I also just don't think those are playable. So
Yeah.
Most of the time they're not.
yeah. So
sad. No,
sad.
ain't it?
No, I mean, like the only big thing I like about the card is it kind of it has 3 abilities and it kind of plays into the name. But yeah, like there's so like oh my goodness.
Yeah. It does have 3 rules.
Like it's not great.
Not great.
Just not great.
Next we have a Prankster, Ramirus. This card is kind of cool. Act. If you have another Demon Continent character, you can ditch 1 and sack this to move one of your opponent's characters to an open stage position. It's a grappling hook.
Yeah. It's a grappling hook that's level 0 too.
Yeah.
I like those.
This is probably really cool with like a clean cut.
This is really cool with set 1 Ramirus, because you can play the set 1 Ramirus, pay 1, summon this, and then you just like, it's basically pay 1, ditch 1 to grappling hook something.
Yeah, but my issue with it is, I don't know. This card's man.
The issue is that nothing. Okay. I keep saying nothing needs to reverse. There is a red finisher in the set that has an effect on reverse, but it also has an effect if you direct attack, so it doesn't have to reverse. This is pretty good if you want to guarantee the reverse for that card.
Sure, but
Yeah.
the art's good. I guess that has it going for it. But I don't know. This card's bad.
It is this. Okay, this kind of profile is usually kind of win more, right? Because it's only good when you're like killing brainstorms and stuff, and you have to already be winning board to do that. So like, sure.
That's true.
Medium card. Fringe use cases. Next we have Threat to Survival Rimuru. This is a 5-star right here. This is the best card in the set.
What is she eating?
Shion's cooking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Next up, Unsettling Atmosphere, Shion. It's 4K. Your opponent's characters get Encore 2. This is like pretty much the most standard 4K profile that they print nowadays, I feel like. And I think it's like a decent 4K profile, right? I think like any set that's like, oh, I need extra like yellow zeros in my deck, I can just make my oversize this card, right? I don't think you have like a shortage of good zeros to be playing in Slime, so I don't think it's good here.
Mm.
But I think in general this profile is like fine. It's passable. Set 1 didn't even like have 4Ks, so shrug.
Yeah. Meh.
Next card we have Simple Task Before Dinner, Hakuro, 103K. On play, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Demon Continent character, this gets +1 soul until end of turn. And when this card becomes reversed, if this card's battle opponent is cost 0 or lower, you may put that character into your opponent's stock. If you do, put the bottom card of their stock into their waiting room. So, cost 0 stock bomb, and it attacks for 2 soul sometimes. Grisaya played a 2 soul level 1 bomb in their sort of meta build before it got restricted, and I think they even still now play it sometimes. So 2 soul bombs have proven somewhat useful. I do wish this card was a 1/0/2000 though, and had a soul trigger. I think that would make it a lot better.
Ooh, soul trigger though.
I
That
think
would be
because like
nice.
this is obviously just meant for all these yellow cards are pretty much just meant for the 8 choice deck, right?
Yeah, agreed.
So like I think giving this a soul trigger would have helped a lot. I don't think it's good enough as it is as a like usually 2 soul beater. You also can't get the 2 soul attack if you summon it off of Ramorous, which is kind of noteworthy.
Yeah.
Like if it's in yellow, you're gonna be playing Ramorous probably.
Mm-hmm.
Next card we have Promise Shion. So this is the one that interacts with the vanilla. It's on play from hand. Put all face up threat to survival Rimuru in your marker areas and waiting room face up underneath this in any order as markers. So it just sort of eats them all as markers. And then if it has 2 or more markers, it's a 1k assist. Since it eats the ones in your marker areas as well, you can't play 2 of these to marker 2 under each one and have 2 1k assists. You can only have 1 of these on the board at a time, like doing things, which I don't think is super relevant. I don't think this card's good enough to play anyway. But yeah.
Or marker compression might be worth it.
It's marker compression, but
Yeah, but
it's
at
just
the
it's a
same
vanilla.
time,
Like we even said earlier, this set has so many good back row to be playing. Is a vanilla 1k assist like good enough?
no.
That's eating like at least probably 6 or 7 slots in your deck.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Next we have Capable Lady Shion. This is a backup. It's a 1/1/2000 backup, and when you use the backup, if all of your characters are Demon Continent, put the top card of your deck into your stock. It's really good in... Okay. These are usually really good in choice builds, because they have a soul trigger, and they're basically 1/0/2k backups that you can add off your soul trigger, or add off your choice trigger because they have soul triggers. Your 1/0 combo is so small in this deck that I don't know how often you're protecting it anyway. But it's still probably worth playing just to like have costless ways to protect early plays, I think. As like a 2k backup. Play like 1 of it.
This card's sweet. I love one level 1 counters with soul triggers. Love them.
Agreed. Especially in choice decks.
Oh yeah.
I just love soul triggers. I mean, this deck play like 35 soul triggers and just aggro your
Yikes.
opponents to death.
Yikes.
Yes.
Next card we have Basking in the Sunset, Geld. This is the other standby target. So it's a 2/2/7/5 plus 1,000 for each of your other Demon Continent characters in the backstage. So it's 9k or 9/5, sorry. And when your other Demon Continent character is frontal attacked, you can sack this to give that character plus 4,000 power until end of turn. This is actually the one that I believe the 8 standby decks play more often. Because their level 1 combo generates stock, so you can standby this out, and if your opponent can kill it, then cool, you let them kill it, and then when they attack your other character, you sack this and then 3-stock encore it. Otherwise, like, it is still just a 3-stock 4k counter, kind of, like if you want to sack it and then encore it, and then it still attacks as a 9/5 2 soul on your next turn. I don't know if that's actually like super good. I'm not personally very convinced that dumping 3 stock at a time into these guilds is that good. It does let you pay out climaxes, but
It's so
I'm a
It lets you
situational.
wait. It lets you pay out climaxes. It denies reverse, and it guarantees you an open lane to attack into.
it doesn't
Right? It gives you a direct attack, right?
so you say it denies reverse. It doesn't like it's a counter. It denies reverse as often as a counter denies reverse.
Yeah, because it's really easy to
Unless
play
you
around.
don't encore this guy, in which case you can deny
Yeah.
reverses.
I mean,
Um,
if they attack it last, it can be awkward. Also, because like
yes.
you can give them a direct attack.
Yeah. It's pretty bad too if like they attack your other character. You never want to sack this, encore it back, and then they kill it after you encore it, right?
Yeah,
It's such a waste.
Yeah. Um
but I mean, it's a 9/5, and you play assists.
yeah. And they're pretty good at multiples too, right? So you have multiples protecting each other, your opponent never has good attack order really.
Bruh, you got 2 or 3 of these suckers.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
I think most of the 8 standby decks play 4 copies of this card.
I mean, yeah, I think this is a 4 or 0.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Um,
if you don't buy into it, you can always play the rare Shion 10k with Encore.
yeah, but it's only 500 power bigger.
Right. Yeah. So
It's
this is probably just worth it, I
this is
guess.
500 power smaller and has a cool effect.
Yeah.
I kind of like him more, definitely, than the Shion.
Yeah. He gives you more like options and more
Mm-hmm.
impactful plays, I think. Next we have First Friend. This is an event card. 1/0. Look at your marker and look at your memory and marker areas. Choose up to 1 card from among them. Return it to your hand. So
Dude,
it's just cantrips into a card from memory or marker.
this art is dope.
Yes.
I don't think the
Card is bad.
Yeah, I don't think the card's particularly good. It's
Like, I don't even think it would be good if the finisher said you can't play events. Basically,
yeah,
I just like the artwork.
yeah.
yeah.
I do want to talk about one other thing about the last card we were talking about, though.
Oh, sure, the guild.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of cards that give your opponents decisions. Uh, like,
Sure.
making it so they have to decide which order to attack in and stuff like that. The more decisions my opponents make opens up more opportunities for them to misplay, in my opinion.
That's fair. I know you were a big fan of like European fleet Contai with all the like battle phase act boost backup shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a
Nice.
big fan of making it so they can just poop on themselves and destroy their whole gameplay. They don't know. They just make a mistake and they fall apart because of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Next card we have Sleep Mode. This is another event. It's a pretty kind of standard profile at this point. It's 1/1 event counter. You have to have a demon continent character to play it. Choose one of your characters, and it gets the following ability until end of turn. This card cannot become reverse. I don't think these are particularly good. Like the
No.
2/1 variant that's in like Kaguya, where you get this effect and the like anti-burn, I think is pretty good.
Yes.
But I don't think the 1/1s are good enough.
No. I don't like it.
I don't. I mean, it's just worse than a card with character encore.
Yeah, it's pay 1, ditch 1 encore that also denies the reverse, I guess.
Yeah,
Shrug.
it's medium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't search it. Like, next we just have the climaxes. We got a choice, another choice, and a return trigger. So those are your options for yellow for the set. If you're playing 8 choice, set 1 didn't have any, so you're locked into those 2 climaxes. Moving into red, we have the most expensive card in the set in Japanese. It's Delicious, Milim. If all your characters are Demon Continent, so if you're playing the game, this gets plus 2,000 power. It's a 35. And beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can move it to an open position of your center stage with a character facing it. So it's a 3,500 chaser. And it's just always 3,500.
Nom.
Yeah, this card's pretty gas. This card's... it's just the freest 3,500 ever. And it can, even if they can beat it in one lane, they either can't play other characters or they have to beat it in every lane they play. Anything else to add to this one?
This card's insane. Like,
I love it, and it's cute.
I know I say that a lot, but I mean, set one we played a 4K rare
Yeah.
that had like some effect where they could pay some amount of stock and you can't front attack with your 0/0.
Yeah.
And the card was bad late game, so like, but it was a red fixer and it was a 4K. I mean, this card's a 3/5 that just kills their characters. This card's so good.
Yeah, this card is definitely your best like red oversized option now.
Like, especially going first, where there are a lot of good sets right now that have clean cuts. And
Yeah, this
like against Kaguya, this
Yes.
card's sweet.
yeah, your opponent can almost never like clean cut this because they have to play a second character, so you always have something to chase into.
Yep. So like I think this card is there's a reason it's the most expensive card in the set.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's also one of the few cards that like easily slots into the set one deck.
Oh, for sure. Because
Yeah.
I think the set one deck, because now the set one deck's playing the event, so they need a little bit more red fixing, and you just give them a good going for 0. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
oh, this card's awesome.
Real good card. All right. Next we have Swept Along Rimuru. This is the 1/0 combo for the 8 standby deck. It's a 55. It can't side attack, which is probably not relevant. And when this attacks, if a historical moment is in your climax area and you have another Demon Continent character during that attack, perform a trigger check 2 times on the trigger step.
I love it.
Yeah, it's free stock. Normally these trigger twice effects you have to pay 1. This doesn't, so you're actually gaining additional stock. It's a little awkward because if you have like multiples of these and you attack with the first one and trigger a climax, congratulations, your climax is like 6 cards deep in your stock now.
Exactly. That's the problem with like triggering twice.
But hey, that's why you can pay it out by 3 stock encoring the guild, right?
Yes.
You can also, okay, here's the other thing, right? You play these, they're kind of small, they're 5500s, but since you're playing a standby from hand, you can standby the guild to your back row. And you can actually just sack the guild to counter up to like 95 with these, which is probably big enough sometimes. And then 3 stock encore it, and then maybe loop the combo like next turn.
Okay. A negative I have of this card is it cannot side attack.
Okay.
I know. I mean, so
Elaborate.
standby in general, right? You lack damage because you don't have 1K1s, stuff like that. So you don't really want to side attack, but playing a character that can't side attack and opens up anti-change, I don't know. I don't think it's that relevant, but I do think it is relevant enough to talk about. I think it's relevant enough to talk about.
Standby decks are more susceptible to anti-change than most other decks.
Yeah. Like I think it's something that's at least relevant to talk about. I don't think it's
It's not a like deal breaker for the card.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like if you're playing 8 standby, you should probably just play this card.
Yeah, you have to be aware that that the downside exists. But you're probably playing the card anyway. The other issue I have with this card, and it's kind of an issue that I have with twin drivers at level 1 in standby decks regardless, is that they are typically your smallest characters on defense. And this one's a little bigger than most level 1s because of 55 on defense, but it's still not big, especially in the context of a standby deck. And they only increase your chances of triggering standby on their own attack. And normally you want to be standbying over your weakest character. But you don't want to standby over the character that's currently attacking because then you lose your attack, you lose your damage. So they present this really awkward scenario where you almost always have to get stuck with a weak character on defense in a standby deck. And the guild being a field counter fixes that somewhat. But it still has that issue where if you're playing multiples of these, especially the first one that attacks, right? If you trigger a standby on the first attack, like you're just not doing anything with it. Like it doesn't help you at all.
No, and then also that climax is now buried.
Yeah, but you also kind of want to play 3 of these because you want the 3 additional stock to be able to 3 stock encore easily. So like, it's
do the loop,
kind of awkward there sometimes.
I
definitely don't think that's a reason not to play this card, but I think it's maybe a reason to not play other twin drivers that don't give you as much benefit as this one.
I think your logic is right and also flawed, right? So like the thought is if I have the difference between 4 trigger checks or 3 trigger checks in a turn and like 5, let's say. Yes, it increases the chance that I'm going to hit a standby on this character, but it also increases the chances that I hit it later, right? Because I'm seeing more cards. Because the
Well,
thought process is right.
It
If you
doesn't increase the chance though, right? Because the chance that like if you were going to attack 3 times, the chance of your standby being that third card or being the fourth card, like it's the same percentage chance that the standby is got shuffled to that slot in your deck.
yeah, we could talk about the
So
theory
like
behind it
it
all day,
increases
but
the overall chance that you trigger one, but not on any particular attack because
but
the
even
standby has the same chance of being on any of your attacks.
but even then, the only way the standby hurts you on the twin drive is if it's the second trigger check, right? If it's on the first trigger check, it's the same as if I just attacked without the twin drive. So I mean, that's something to think about,
Sure,
right?
sure.
I think this card's great.
I mean, yeah, card's really good. It gives you extra stock, which is important in the
Oh, yeah.
standby deck. And
Yes.
any time where you're attacking with the twin drive and you have a slot to standby to, if it's your second or third attack, obviously getting the extra chances at the standby is good. It's just awkward when you like if it's your first attack or if you already have 2/2s, right? And you just have like 2/2/2s in the sky, like it's the standby doesn't help you hitting it on the twin drive. But yeah, you're obviously playing this in the 8 standby deck, I think. Next
Well,
card.
I think the other argument is if there's more 1/1s you want to play, right?
Oh, sure,
Like,
you could just play 1/1s instead of this.
yeah.
Next card we have Full of Smiles Shuna. So we didn't have a red early play in set 1, I don't think. So this is our red early play. If you have 4 or more Demon Continent characters, this card gets -1 level in your hand. On play, heal. And on play, if you have another Demon Continent character, this gets 2k until end of opponent's turn. This is word for word the Toka early play from Data Live. It's just 10-5 for a turn cycle. It heals. It's easy condition. It's a good card.
She's cute.
She is cute.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she heals and
Yeah, it's a good. I really like. Oh yeah.
she's a different early play condition than the other healers, at least from set 1, which I like.
Yeah.
Like,
She's also a
it kind
different
of
color,
sucks.
which is sometimes
Yeah,
relevant.
sometimes
It's
relevant,
bad. Sometimes
sometimes
it's bad.
bad.
Sometimes it's good. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do think that this card is good. I don't like how small it is.
After
On
a turn cycle, she's tiny.
yeah, and so like especially in like the standby
Yeah.
decks where I mean, perfect world, right? You play this, you heal, and then maybe you stand by a 2/2 out that's bigger than it. But
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
but I don't know. This card's good, but
Yeah, I agree that it's good. It's maybe a card that you play like 2 of.
Yeah.
It's not really something you want to like super focus
Yeah.
on, but it finishes out your board and gets you a heal.
Yeah, it's good, and also the requirement, like the forum more is so easy to have. That's why, like, probably it might be my favorite early play condition, just because it's typically easier for at least me to have 4 more characters on my field to do an early play versus like a climax requirement or something. But
Yeah, it's almost always something you can just easily control to get.
yeah,
Especially
the downside
especially
is
in a
the
set
power.
like Ramorous. But yeah,
Oh yeah,
she tiny.
she
I
itty
also
bitty.
I also think it's relevant to know that it's red, and if you're playing 8 standby, your goal is to win board. So the early play condition is honestly non-existent for this card. It should happen every game.
Yeah, it's absolutely free. You can also like, if you do have a full board, right, you can sack a guild to give 4k to something to like win a counter line and then just play this to the open slot.
Yeah.
So like it kind of plays well with the fact that your 2/2s can sack themselves. Because like normally, right, if you're playing a standby deck and you have three of your big lanes and your opponent attacks and you want to counter one of them, you still have a full board. But you can counter in this deck and like open up a slot to play this, and then get value and then maybe standby back over it. Next card, we have the finisher for the 8 standby deck, Drago Buster Milim. So this is a 3/2 9k. If all of your characters are demon continent, it gets 2k. Same condition as the level 0, super free. On play, heal. And Climax combo, when recently learned restraint is placed on your Climax area, this card gets the following 2 abilities until end of turn. The first effect is when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may pay 2. If you do, choose up to 1 Drago Buster, which is the 3/5 event, in your hand. And if you meet the level and color requirements, so if you have red and you're level 3 or higher, you can play it without paying the cost. The other effect is when this direct attacks, you can pay 2, deal 2. So if you have a reverse target, you get to pay 2, slam the event. If you don't have a reverse target, you pay 2, deal 2. The event is a 3/5, so you're getting to save 3 stock, effectively, by getting the reverse with the combo. And you don't have to have the stock main phase, right? Because you can attack to build the stock. If you have a character with Milim, your opponent, with Milim in its card name, your opponent reveals 7 cards from the top of their deck. And then they shuffle their deck and put X cards from the top of their deck into their clock. X is the number of climaxes that they reveal among those 7. Right, so they reveal 7. If there's like 2 climaxes, they shuffle all 7 back in, and then they clock twice. So it can't be cancelled because it's not damage.
Love it.
Yeah. The event on its own is just gas, and then this lets you slam it for super cheap sometimes. Like this combo allows you to realistically have turns where you slam 2 copies of the event.
Yeah, this is fun. I like this whole package of this Climax combo.
And
I was muted. Sorry.
Even if you don't have a reverse target, you can just direct pay 2, deal 2, and it's not bad because it's an 11k healer that dealt damage. Also, it's an 11k healer. It's an 11k body rather. You can just stand by out early, and you don't have to pay the 2 to play it.
That's what I wanted to talk about. This card by itself is really good, even without the event, because it's at level 2. I'm standbying out at 11k that pushes damage.
Yep.
So I love the event. Obviously, the event damage is pretty crazy. I also like how you can build up the stock to it, and I think this card is the main reason why I think the 1/0 red standby combo is good, because
you need stock.
Yeah. I mean, if I can at level 1, generate 2 or 3 extra stock, and then go into my level 2 and casually stand by this out, and then my next turn, pay 2, burn 2 just for free. Like, that's pretty good. Like, this card's really good.
Even if your 1/0 combo triggers climaxes, there's a world where you don't care about paying them out, and you just hold all your stock to just go all in on this top end.
Oh yeah.
This top, like, if you do this if you do at level 3 twice or 3 times, it probably kills from a large gap.
Pretty realistically hitting like at least 2. Like I think on a like standard, if your opponent like just refreshed, right, and they're like 7 or 8 and 24 or whatever, like you're probably hitting 2 climaxes on the event. And the more compressed they are, the more damage you're gonna do. And the sweet part is that the event doesn't remove those climaxes from their deck always. It doesn't just. It's not like the Rem and Memory Snow where you put the climax in clock. It shuffles all 7 back in and then clocks off the top. So if you play this and like hit 2 or 3 climaxes and then they clock clean off the top, they're even more compressed for the next event.
Yeah. So my big issue with this,
also more compressed to cancel your attacks, but
my only like downside of this card is I actually think this card is worse because it's a healer.
Actually, you wish you could draw the event.
Well, it can't dig for the climax or dig for the event.
That's fair.
And so, I mean, obviously, we talk about it a lot. You and I both. We love healers. Healers are the best. Give me oversized healers all day, and I'll be happy. But I also think the consistency side of, okay, I have one of these out already that I standbyed out. It's my level 3 turn. Let me slam this card, draw 2, ditch 1,
Yeah.
to dig for something, or check top 3, add 1, something.
I mean, we've already seen,
that's why, but that's why the Memory Snow one's really good, is
Yeah.
because it just digs for more copies of itself, or it digs for the climax.
Right. Well, and,
So you
like,
don't have to hold it.
a couple other standby decks, right? Like Data Live has troubles with the Kurumi level 3, like finding her climax to actually have impact. Kaguya
Yeah.
even, like it's only a 4 standby deck, but you standby out the Kaguyas, you have trouble finding the climax to get that extra push.
Yeah, it puts you into awkward positions where you
Everything,
feel.
everything heals. Like,
Well, it puts you in this weird position where, as a standby deck, where you have to hold your standby so you can guarantee hit your combo.
yeah,
That's my big draw to Memory Snow though, is like at level 2 I can slam the level 3 climax and not care, because when I hit level 3 I'm gonna draw into the climax.
yeah,
Um, I mean, this card's really good. I don't want to take away from that. I think the reach on this card is really good, and the fact that it's really big for standby is also great.
yeah, yeah. Good card, not without its issues. We like that.
Yeah.
Next up, we have a card that solves half the problems you just talked about. Meditating Millum. Act. If you have another Drago Buster Millum, which is the 3-2 combo, you can discard one and sack this, look at up to 3 from the top of your deck, choose one card so you can get the event or the climax, put it in your hand, put the rest in your waiting room.
Okay, I
Second
feel like an
effect.
idiot now.
Second effect is a pay 1 self-rest salvage brainstorm.
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel stupid now. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You couldn't have stopped me there and said, "Hey, man, wait till we get to the next card."
Congratulations, we just fixed the problems. Because like you're gonna play this early, right? It's your brainstorm, so you're gonna have it on board most of the game. And then when you go in for your level 3, you can just sack it and find your pieces. Sweet,
And it comes foiled,
sweet
so
card.
when we max ready the
Ooh.
deck, it's
Foil.
okay.
Yeah.
The best flavor.
Yeah, like we said earlier, we like salvage brainstorms, and this
Mhm.
one's secondary effect is not relevant for most of the game, but starting at level 2, right? Like if you stand by out the level 3, you can start sacking it to find stuff.
Yep.
You can even you can hit level 2 and like sack this if you've already standbyed out the level 3. You can sack this to find either the event or the climax, and then if you hit a standby, you can just, or if you have like multiple standbys in hand, right, you can standby out a 2k assist or something in the open slot you made. So really good card, especially for the 8 stand. Mostly only for the 8 standby deck. I think any other build, right, you're
Yeah.
just playing the set 1 salvage brainstorm instead if you want a salvage brainstorm. But really good card for the 8 standby deck. Next we have a Destroyer Millum. During your turn, if you have another Demon Continent character, this gets 3k power. Millum really loves having just super free conditions on her power effects.
Plus she's cute.
Yes.
Yes.
Shuna's better, but yes.
And she comes foil too. I love it.
Also comes foil. When this attacks, pay 1, trigger check twice.
Twin drive.
Yeah, so
My love language.
the stuff I was talking about earlier about like twin drivers and standby decks kind of doesn't matter if you have like open slots on your board anyway. So like turn 2, those cards kind of just gas, or even like if you're going second turn 1, you play the chaser, play this. Even if you hit the standby on the twin drive, you have an open slot to standby too. So like,
there's also no downside to play this card because it's a 4K on your turn.
it also attacks for 4k, so it kills
Mhm.
opposing oversizes.
Like this card is really really good, especially like you said, go turn 1 chaser into turn 2 this, like you're really far ahead now.
It's a good card.
Great.
Yeah, that's about it. Next card we have Towards the Dwelling of Spirits, Rimuru. On play, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room, and when you play a climax, return this to your hand, give a character 2,000 power until end of turn. You see these a lot in sets that have standby. They're meant to be played onto board, do a thing, and then bounce back to hand to make room for whatever you're standbying out. You should like put this in the back row, play your standby, bounce it back, and then just standby to back row in the new open slot. Some sets these are fine, some sets they're not great. Sets that you already want multiple specific back row, these run out of space to get put on board, so they lose their value very quickly, despite being like loopable. I think this is probably one of the sets where this card might actually hold value until you get your 3/2 assist in play, because like the Brainstorm is kind of the only thing you want in the back. But there is also another card that bounces back when you play Climax in set 1, because set 1 also had an 8 standby deck that was just really bad. So they actually got one of these in set 1 that pumped +1 soul instead of 2000 power.
Yeah, that was something I was going to talk about. Was I think generically the ones that pump soul are better for standby decks because you already lack the reach of soul.
Yeah.
Because you don't play 1K ones. Now the drawback is you get more direct attacks.
I think.
However, if this card pumped power cross turn, I think it would be really, really good with the
Yeah,
1
that's what I was gonna say. I think the ones that pump soul and the ones that pump 1K cross turn are the two better versions.
Yes, I agree because the if making the 1/0 a 6/5 cross turn is actually great because now I can counter something and it's an 8/5, which is beats every other level 1 combo pretty much. Um, and I think the first effect's really good too in 8 standby because you dig to more standbys.
Yep.
So I think this card's good. I don't know if you play it, but it's good.
Yeah.
Hilary, would you play this card?
Like, I like the power bump or the power pump, especially adding it on to the level 1 standby combo. But other than that, yeah, when it comes to standby, you definitely want to lean towards like power cross turn or a soul pump. So, but yeah, it's okay. I would play it because it's Rimuru.
Sure.
That's the kind of thing. Yeah.
Sure.
Isn't the Data Live one power cross turn?
Yeah, it's also your Brainstorm, so you
Yeah.
never run into the issue in that deck of like running out of places to put it in your back row. Because it's just your Brainstorm. So like, because normally what happens is like if you have a Brainstorm and an assist that you want in your back row, you don't have room to play this. But in that deck, it's just already your Brainstorm.
This card's probably card 51.
That's possible. It's possible, yeah.
It comes foil.
Yeah, the foil is just way zoomed out. Like, way zoomed out.
Oh,
Next
my
card,
hopes and dreams
next
just
card we have
died.
in a meeting, Shuna on play gets 1500, so it attacks for 35, just like Chloe. And when it goes into your waiting room from the stage, you can pay 1, clock 1 to salvage a Demon Continent character. It's Krista on death. So this is like an alternative for your set 1 Ricky as a clock plus. It salvages instead of searches, which is generally worse. However, it's on death, which some people don't like because it lets the opponent have an opportunity to interact, and you can't play it on your combo turn to search your combo. But being on death means that you can play it turn 1, attack with it, and then still use the effect when it dies, which has its own merits. So like maybe this card's fine.
I hate this profile. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. I like Ricky's because you could manipulate your level a lot. I like being, I'm 05, I'll clock to draw, and then Ricky to 1/0, and then boom, I level 1 combo first.
Sure, you have less agency with like controlling your clock on this.
Yeah,
you have to either make the decision way earlier, or you have to make the decision too late.
Like this card's sweet, as same point as we talked about earlier, because your opponent might think, well, I don't want to attack into it because I don't want them to do that, and then you just get to keep your character and get a free plus.
Dude, I love when people don't attack my on death effects.
Yeah, me too.
So
because
free.
like you're like. I mean, it's not like they're not attacking your stock bomb or something. They're just not attacking your on death, and it's like, okay, so now I get to crash into your lane, get a free attack.
Yeah, instead of getting a free card, or instead of getting a card that I have to pay for, I got a free card that is then going to get me a card that I'm paying for.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like that. I like that aspect, but I don't. I haven't looked at lists for the 8 standby or any I don't even know if you want this in 8 standby, but
I mean the Ricky's probably still just better most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The set 1 also it's the Ricky is after the battle Rimuru is the card name I believe. It's a double rare yellow from set 1 is the card we're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the second effect on it is also relevant in like a couple matchups, notably Fate, which now that it has support is maybe a matchup that you care a little more about.
Yeah.
So that card's probably just better than this one most of the time. Next card we have a level 1 combo, Sweet Beauty Shuna. This is on reverse. If the Climax is in play, put up to 1 card from the top of your deck into your stock, and reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a Demon Continent character, put it into your hand. This is also a level 1 bomb. Decent combo. It's on reverse on a level 1 bomb, which kind of works together kind of well. I don't like these where you want to like crash your level 1 bomb and then oops, you have a direct slot open. Climax is a 2-soul trigger also, which is not great. It's when you play the Climax, you salvage a character that is your level or lower, and then you give 2 of your characters +1 soul.
Ew.
So it replaces itself, which is kind of cool. It replaces itself like kind of selective, which is cool, but it's a 2-soul trigger, and this card leaves open board slots if you combo.
Wish this card was just a 2-soul Climax.
That might be better, maybe.
No, definitely. I love 2-soul Climaxes.
Sure.
This card's bad.
Yeah, not great.
I don't know why
Setbase.
they had to do. I don't know why they had to do Shuna like that.
Yeah, they did Shuna dirty in this set.
Yeah.
Her early play like
Yeah.
dies after a turn cycle. Her level 1 combos. This is like I think the only Climax combo that Shuna has across both sets. I don't think she got one in set 1.
They picked a good art.
God, yeah,
The foil art's
yeah,
pretty good. The foil art's like her sitting under a tree.
I like trees.
that's cute. Trees are nice.
Yeah, sad existence on that card. Next we have
Very.
a Warm Welcome Rimuru. If you have 2 or more other Demon Continent characters, this gets 2,000 power. And Encore, pay 1, sack a character.
Card's bad.
This is... So you have already a 1/1 with character Encore that gets 500 for each other character, I believe, in set 1. So you have a 75 with Encore in set 1. It's kind of up for debate which one you play. Character Encore is obviously Character Encore. This Encore is better if your opponent wins multiple lanes, I think. Because if you have a character that's already reversed anyway, you can just pay 1 and sack your reversed character.
Yeah.
So it's like pay 1 Encore, which I think is probably generally better than discard 1 Encore.
Mhm. Yeah, I really like that aspect of this encore effect. Art's nice too.
Yeah. I don't know what the foil looks like.
Sad.
But yeah, cards
Like
probably
every card
fine.
so far has come foil. My
I don't
goodness.
I don't know if you even play 1/1s in the standby deck though, because like you just want to like multi-field the level 1 combo and then you have 2/2s after that point.
Yeah.
Like maybe a one of or something, but I don't know. That I think it's situational on how you build your standby deck.
Well, I don't think you want to put one of 1/175s in your deck.
Just 'cause
Like,
you're not gonna see them consistently enough.
yeah, I think if you're playing 1/175s, you want to play like 3 or 4 copies. Like if it was like a field swapper or something, maybe something that has more utility, I could see you wanting to play as a one of. But
Yeah,
this
I
card
don't
just doesn't
know.
have utility. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's fine. I
It's
don't.
after
Maybe good enough in some
know.
other set.
Maybe. I just like the art.
It is nice art. Next card we have Leave It to Me, Milim. Oh yeah, okay. This is another 2/2 standby target. We forgot about
This card's just way better than all the other.
This
Like,
card's
what?
pretty gas. This card's pretty gas. I don't know why I forgot this card
I
existed.
read ahead, and I'm like, why were you telling me to play a 2/2 10K when this card exists?
Yeah, so I guess you choose either between this card or Geld probably. The Shion is still the only one with Encore, which is notable. But this card's pretty great. Gains 2k for each of your other Demon Continent characters in backstage. So this one does reach 10-5. And on attack, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room, which is effectively triggering twice. except you will never bury a Climax in your stock. And if you're not trying to hit additional standbys, you can just leave the clean card on top, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wish this card was auto attack, check top 2,
Rearrange
put him
them.
back, put him
Or-
back in any order.
So normally that profile, it's normally look at top 2, put 1 on top, 1 into waiting room, which I still think
Yeah,
would be like really good on this. It would probably loot
I,
another 500 power for it, I think. But
the rearrange would be cool because you could
yeah,
just you could float a Climax on top.
yeah, that'd be too
Mhm.
good. That'd be
Yeah,
too good.
you're right. You're right.
That's why they normally force you to put 1 in waiting room and the rest on top.
Yeah.
But I think this effect is like pretty good anyway. This helps you hit more standbys if you need them, and it also confirms that you're going to trigger clean if you don't. Because like even if you like just you don't need to hit more standbys because you have like a full setup board and you look at the top and it is a standby, you can just put it in your waiting room and trigger the next card. So you're not like accidentally triggering useless standbys either. So this card's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just what you play if you don't want to play Guild.
Mhm.
Next card is I Can't Hear You, Rimuru. This card's also pretty gas. The decks, I don't know if people play this. I think like originally people were playing it a lot and then they kind of came off of it to focus more on the finisher. But it's a 3/2 10k, gets 500 for each of your other Demon Continent characters, so it is 12 on a full board, which is enormous. And when this attacks, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's waiting room and put it on the top or at the bottom of their deck.
I'm playing 8 standby with 4 of this card.
This card,
I
when they revealed this card, I lost it. This card is so cool. Because, like,
I know.
it's 12k, so it's enormous. But also, like,
Mhm.
standby, you're swinging for, like, either 2 or 3, whether you're frontal or direct. So now your 2s are 1s in terms of, like, canceling. And your 3s are 2s. Like, you're just sticking attacks that you have no business sticking at this point. Which is really sweet.
Also, you could just put Climaxes on top of their deck so they never die.
You can do that if you would like
that's
to.
a strategy.
That is an option. Okay.
If you're
No, hear me out there. Here's the other cool thing. If your opponent has like a small deck, you can actually put Climaxes on the bottom, and then when your Millum combo reverses, you slam the
Oh my
event and just
gosh.
reveal all of the Climaxes you put on the
Wait.
bottom.
Oh, that's so
wait,
dirty.
wait,
I
you're a
love
madman.
it.
Right? So like
You're
say your opponent has like 2 Climaxes in like a 7 or 8 card deck, right? You can swing with this, put another Climax on bottom, swing with a second one, put a Climax on bottom, and then reverse with the Millum, slam the event. And like you're going to hit the 2 off the bottom and any others that they didn't cancel with.
you're an actual madman. Like, I'm playing 8 standby with 4 of this card in my deck, and I don't care what anyone says. This is nuts.
This card's pretty sweet. This card's pretty sweet. And it's just like even if you're just trying to like finish them off, right? Like you just put 1 or 2 of this on your board, like depending on how many copies of the finisher you have. And like you're just making your attacks less likely to cancel. Because you're just stacking clean damage on top of their deck, which is kind of broken, I'm gonna be real. This card's really good. This is the kind of card that I would never want to play against. It's really bad against like things that can. Okay, so it loses to free fresh counters, and it loses to like torch and like maneuver gear stuff.
Sure, but like if I attack and put a character on top of your deck and you free fresh counter, okay, oh well.
Yeah, that's kind of fine. Like cool.
Yeah, like especially if like free fresh countering isn't even right.
Yeah. Especially if you're not in a spot where you need to free fresh counter otherwise.
Yeah, no, like, and it's a 12k.
It is big. It is so big. I don't know why this card's 12k.
This card's awesome.
This card being 12k means that they only value the stacking on top of your opponent's deck at 500 power.
Then give it to more characters, please.
Please, yeah. Card's sweet. Next up, we have another 3/2 standby target. Benimaru breaking the enemy's formation. This is all of your other Demon Continent characters get plus 1500 power. And when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you can pay 2, deal 1. So you can standby him out as like a front row dude that makes your board big, and he's a little bit of extra damage. Probably mostly relevant if you like do trigger climaxes and want to pay them out just to get some value out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a global 15 is pretty good. Like obviously there's already a 2k assist in set 1 that you can be playing, but this can go in your front row, so you can have both of those. So this card's kind of good. There's a lot of good level 3s for standby though, so I don't know how much room you have for stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's just worse than the Shuna, right?
The assist?
Yeah.
Maybe. But like I said, you can have both of them. So, sometimes. I do think I like the Shuna more in general, though, because you have other, like, really impactful front row targets. So, I think the Shuna's kind of what I would go with most of the time. Next, we have Uncommon Battle in the Goblin's Village, Rimuru. This is on play, pay 1, discard a Demon Continent character, look at top 4, choose up to 1 card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest into your waiting room, and shift level 0. So this is another way you can grab events and climaxes. I sometimes like this effect in standby decks because you can ditch a standby target to find a standby, but usually not more than like 1 or 2 copies. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like a cat.
Yeah, I like the art. This is good art.
Yes.
Alright, next we have Multi-Talented Shuna. Once per turn when you use an act ability, give a character 1,000. And pay 1, rest this, look at top 2, choose a level 1 or higher, put it in your hand, and put the rest into your waiting room. This also grabs events. It cannot grab climaxes, though. And, like, if you use her effect on your turn, you pump 1k. If you use a backup on your opponent's turn, you pump 1k. I still generically cool, but I still don't know what you're using backups for at level 1 in this set. Like,
Yeah, I still don't know why I'm pumping power. Like,
yeah. So, yeah, just misplaced card.
also second effect would miss every time.
Yeah, probably. Next we have Skillful Consumption, Shizu. On play, give a level 2 or higher character plus 3,000, and it's a level 0 bomb. So it doesn't have good value early, and like it's a level 0 bomb, right? So you're only good at 0, but the other effect is only good later. So probably just not good enough because you don't want to be playing this when you have level 2s on board. Let's see. Next up, we have Shuna Watching Over. This is 0/0. On play, put top 2 cards of your deck into your waiting room. If there is a level 0 or lower character, this can side without losing soul. And on play, pay 1, discard 1, salvage a Demon Continent character from waiting room, and then give a character, one of your other Demon Continent characters, plus 1,000 power. I think this card is like kind of fine.
It mills. We haven't seen a lot of good mill cards for standby yet.
It's a bit of mill and it's a bit of hand fix. And power pump early is like maybe relevant if you're playing like clean cut and stuff as well. So kind of good. Kind of good, but you're only playing like 1 or 2 maybe at most. Next we have a 1/0 Mature Taste Rimuru. On attack, if you have 2 or more other Demon Continent characters, this gets 2k, so it attacks at 6. And during your opponent's turn, when this becomes reversed, you can pay 1, rest it, and at the beginning of your next encore step, put this in waiting room. So it's a 6k attacker that, if it dies on defense, you can pay 1 to +1 and attack with it again the next turn. These are like okay, but a 6k 1/0 is just nothing special.
It'd be sweet if it went to memory.
Yeah,
Instead of waiting room.
It'd be really cool if it went to memory instead of waiting room. But for some reason, this set that focuses on memory decided to put it in waiting room.
That's fair.
Next card is Great Mood Benimaru. On play, look at top card of your deck, put it on top or bottom, which is weird for a red card. And when this card is placed on the stage from your hand, this gets plus X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of demon continent characters you have times 500. So it's 7k on a full board. And I'm actually curious enough that I'm going to go check the Japanese card and see if that's supposed to be bottom. But otherwise, like, this is just... The information is, like, kind of cool, because it is top or bottom. That's really weird. Red cards are normally waiting room. The information's kind of good if you're trying to hit, like, standbys or whatever, but no, you're just not playing this.
Yeah.
Next we have Capable Lady Shuna, also cute. It's 1/1 2000 backup, just like the Shion. And when you use this card's backup, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a Demon Continent character, put it in your hand and discard one. I love these backups, and I love when they're 1/1 backups instead of 2/1s.
This card's sweet. I actually think in the 8-choice build, you might actually play this card also.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, what is it? Leafa counter, this card called?
Yeah.
But I think this card, I mean, it gets you closer to cancels.
Yep, gets you closer to cancels, gets you hand fix a little bit. It's like a stock out and discard out kind of. And 2000 power. These used to only be 1500 power backups, but now they've lowered the base power on them and made them 2k, which I think makes them... I think that's what makes them playable, right? Because the 2/1 versions are 2500s, so dropping all the way down to 1500 wasn't great, but having 1/1 2000 backup that gives you this effect is pretty solid. And since it has a Soul Trigger, it just goes in the 8-choice deck.
Plus, you can stand by this out at level 0.
Yeah, dude. There's also like maybe an argument to play this in the old build, right? As just like a way to protect your early plays and stuff that digs you toward cancels.
I think the old build was missing something like this.
Yeah.
The old build was missing like another good one to grab off your level 1 combo, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Next we have Awaited Chance to Shine Millum. This is another 1/1 standby target, though I think you can also maybe justify playing this in not standby decks. 1/1 45, if the character facing it is cost 0 or lower, it gets +1 level and 3500 power. So it becomes a level 2 80, or a level 2 8k, and it has Clock Encore. I don't like Clock Encore versus Character Encore, but in any world where you're playing against like 1/0 combos or level 1 bombs, this is just unstoppable. Yeah. It's kind of like the can't be reversed by cost zeros. Except it also... It's basically the can't be reversed by cost zeros. I don't know which one's actually better, the getting huge or not being able to be reversed at all. These are better on offense, because this is going to attack into things as well, so it can't be like countered over or whatever.
I think if your local meta, doesn't have any like 8 standby decks, this card's really good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And if you need to contest power against standby targets, you just play one of the 1/175s, or don't play a 1/1.
Exactly. Like, but I think if locally nobody's playing 8 standby, you could just jam 3 copies of this.
Yeah.
And like never give, you just deny every reverse. I mean, this card's sweet.
Yeah, pretty cool. Next we have a Victory Celebration Benimaru. This is a 2/1 backup. It's a 3000 power. And when you use the backup, choose one of your characters in battle, it gets following ability. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, put that character into your opponent's memory. So we have a memory backup now. Memory kick counter.
Thank God.
Hey.
Just a generic backup tool that a lot of sets have that we have in Slime now. So cool. Standby deck plays this kind of often. It's actually relevant against enough finishers right now that it's like pretty noteworthy, I think. Like it beats the Adventure Time finisher and it beats the 8-choice Slime finisher now. And there's, I think, a handful of others that it beats. So, worth noting. Like, if you're playing against Slime, you need to be wary of this. For sure. Also just beats, like, memory or Encore early plays, right? So, if the old build picks up again and people are playing the Shizu early play with Encore, this also beats that. So, definitely noteworthy.
Yeah.
Next we have a 2/1 Taunting the Kids Rimuru. It's a 2000 assist to level 3 or higher characters. and pay 2, discard 1, rest of this card. If you're level 3 or higher, you can choose Power of a Kijin Benimaru, which is the double rare standby combo from set 1. Or you can choose the Global 1500 from this set and put it from your waiting room to your stage. So it basically just, it's exactly the same like resource-wise as playing it from hand. It just doesn't require you to like sculpt into it.
Yeah.
And it's a 2k assist to level 3s, so card's probably not great. But, you know, there's maybe a world where you're using this just to summon a dude. If it let you do it at level 2, it's really good. I don't think it's worth waiting until level 3, because you have so many other super strong level 3 plays. Alright, next we have Cute Request Milim. This is 2/1/6k, plus 1,000 for each of your other Demon Continent characters, so it's a 10k. And when this card attacks, if I Want to Fight More is in your Climax area, and you have 2 or more other Demon Continent characters, look it up to 2 cards from top of your opponent's deck, choose up to 2, put them on top in any order, and put the rest into the waiting room. This card actually was like considered as a replacement for the empty comeback trigger in the old set 1 build, because they usually either just played the set 1 3/2 restander, or they played just no combo on their comeback. And this is like a consideration for an actual combo to play on it, because this is a finisher. This is a like low resource finisher that you can just play in that deck off of your comeback anyway to confirm damage. I think the consensus was that there's not enough room for it in the deck, but it's definitely cool.
Is
Cute.
Does the Climax come foil?
I don't believe so, but
Okay, then you can't play it.
we'll find out when we get to the slide.
You can't play cards where Climaxes don't come foil.
If it's not foil.
If it's not foil, we're not playing it. Alright, that's
No.
Next up, we have
Not in
Victory
this
Celebration Kurobe. This is a 500 assist. Discard an event, rest this card. Look at top 4, choose a Demon Continent character, reveal it, put it in your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. This does kind of answer the like issue of if you're playing the 3/5 events and they're clogging your hand, you can filter them out. But every other event in these sets is just like something you kind of want to slam anyway, so I don't know when you're using this, because like Mask, you just want to slam it. The new event, Fruits of Wisdom, you just want to slam it. So like, I don't know what event you're actually discarding with this, other than the 3/5. Which most builds probably aren't playing enough copies of to, like, warrant playing this effect. Next we have Aren't We Besties Rimuru. All of your other Demon Continent characters get plus 500 power. And when your other Of Course We're Besties Milim is placed on stage from hand, you can discard 1, check top 4, add a Demon Continent to hand, put the rest in waiting room. So this basically turns all of your 1/0 vanillas that I didn't even change the scans of the English one. It just turns your 1/0s into hand fixes, but you have to play like vanillas and this card to do it. So probably not worth it. Like, on play, discard 1, check top 4 is really good, but you can only do it once per turn as well, per Rimuru. So, probably not there.
Yeah.
Next we have Strategy Meeting Shuna. On play from hand, choose one of your other Demon Continent characters, give it 2,000 power. And on play from hand, if your opponent's center stage has 1 or less characters, choose a cost 0 or lower character in their center stage and put it into their waiting room. This card kinda hoses Kaguya, right? Because they're always just gonna like play their clean cut runner turn 1 and you pop it. But like, I mean, kind of like any deck that like has a really strong turn 1 where they're like playing a strong 0 going first. Even then, like the mirror, right? They play the Milim Chaser. You can play this and pop it. So like that effect is pretty cool. The power pump's kind of irrelevant.
Especially
unless you're
the
playing your
power
clean
pump.
cut. But if you're playing your clean cut, then like,
Why
you
would
don't
you
want
get
to
rid of
pop
their
their
character?
guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No. This card's only good going second. I hate cards like that.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, because once they play multiple characters, like, it doesn't do anything.
Well, it's also like if I'm playing a clean cut and I'm going second, I get so much more added value than this card does.
Yeah. That's fair. Well, unless it's
Mhm.
a runner, right? Because you can't clean cut against a runner. So like
Sure, but like,
K runner or the chaser or anything like that, like you're still this is better than clean cut probably.
I mean, I guess, but like, if I'm gonna play a card
Yeah.
that's only good going second, I want it to give me a lot of value.
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Next we have Great Victory Millum. This is a 002K on play from hand, or when it attacks, look at top card, put it on top of your deck or into your waiting room.
Ooh.
It's cool. I don't think it does enough. Like, just play the Twin
Yeah,
Driver.
it needs like something like it needs a second ability.
Yeah, it needs a second ability. Otherwise, like, you just play
Exactly.
the Twin Driver that attacks for 4K, the rare.
Yeah.
Next, we have Great Hall Millum. This is a 104K. On play, put 2 cards from the top of your deck into your waiting room. If there's a climax, you can discard 1 salvage. And when your other character attacks, gets plus 1500. The mill is kind of neat, but like this is just more discard outs in a set that feels like it already has a quadrillion discard outs. So
Yeah.
still not feeling it on this. Like these are just commons. They're
Um.
not
Yeah. It's
super
common.
relevant.
Yeah. It's. Yeah.
It attacks at
I,
7K last, which is like fine. It's like decent power line. Because I think the Mahiru from Review Starlight that first had this effect was like only attacked for 6K or 65. I think it was 4K base and gained 2K
Oh yeah.
or something.
hmm Something like that. I kind of remember it.
Yeah,
That was before my time. That was like 1945.
yeah.
That was a good year.
Um, Next we have 1-0 Summoning Call Benimaru. This gets plus 500 power for each of your other Demon Continent characters, so 6,000 on a full board. And it's also a field counter, but this one is, instead of just sacking it, you have to discard 1 and sack it, but it pumps 3k, which is pretty big for a 1-0 field counter. But also that's just like so so many resources. Like you're discarding a card and sacking this guy to like just play a counter, right? Like I don't think Geld would be playable if you had to discard a card, even if he pumped like 5,500 because of it. Next we have What That Body Harbors Shizu. This is a 105,000. On attack, if you have 2 or more other Demon Continent characters, choose a character facing this card. Until end of turn, that character gets minus 1,000, and this card gets plus 1,000. This is basically just a 7k attacker, with the added benefit of sometimes you can blow things up that are less than 1,000 power, or like 1,000 or less. Don't know when you're ever really playing this, unless you are like primary red and still wanting to play a 7k attacker off of Ramaris. I guess maybe.
I
Uh,
love the wording, how it says choose one character facing this card. Like there could be more than one character facing it.
Look, man,
Card's bad. On
You
to the next
never
one.
know.
card's pretty bad. Next we have the vanilla. Next we have Distressed Shuna. This is a 2/1. When this card frontal attacks, you can pay 1. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters. That character gets -1 level until end of turn. And then when this becomes reversed, if the battle opponent is level 2 or lower, you may reverse that character. So this is a level 2 bomb that kills 2/2s, or you can pay an additional stock to make it kill level 3s.
I like the 2 ones that get power on board more than this.
Agreed.
Mhm.
I think level 2 bombs in general, like to even be considered for playability, need to have 2 soul. Right? Like
Yeah, I
if
agree.
this was a 4K with 2 soul, it's a lot better of a consideration, I think. Um, but as it stands, like set already has anti-change bombs, I'm pretty sure, that are like decent.
Yeah.
And like if you're paying 1 to minus level their dude to anti-change it, this is a 2/2 anti-change bomb, which is just even worse. So not liking it.
Fair.
Now, you
hmm
can -1 level their dude on your 8 choice finisher turn to give yourself good side attacks. That is like maybe the one draw to this.
Fair.
Is that you can give their dude -1 level until end of turn, and then you can like pick between frontal or side attacks, to sort of like control your damage. Maybe that's like worth it, but I don't think it's worth the amount of resources you have to put into it. Next we have Rimuru Sealing an Agreement. This is a 2/17K. On play, pay 1 and put a demon continent character from your waiting room at the bottom of your clock. If you do, you free fresh, and then this card gains 15. And then on attack, if the character facing this is level 3 or higher, this gets 6,000. So it attacks for 13 into level 3s, 14/5 if you free fresh. Problem with these cards, they print these not often, but every now and then, where you have to clock yourself in order to free fresh, which kind of defeats the point of free freshing, which is like getting the effective heal. Now, you still get to confirm that you're clocking a specific Demon Continent character instead of whatever your random refresh point is, so you're never refresh pointing a Climax, basically. And you can do this at any point in your deck. You don't have to have 5 or fewer cards in deck. So there are probably worlds where like the 1500 power matters enough that it's just worth doing, but I don't think this free fresh effect is particularly good.
No. In comparison to like other free freshes, no.
Yeah. But being a 13k attacker into level 3 is like, it's at least, this card is a justifiable card anyway. And then if you are in a position where you need to free fresh, you're playing the card, so you have access to it, which is kind of cool.
I think it's really cool that they gave 8 standby a free fresh.
That's fair.
Because like, well, I think a lot of times, right, when you're playing standby, you get pigeonholed to do I give up clock compression to play better characters, or do I hold my clock compression until next turn?
Sure, yeah.
So you could give up. I mean, I don't know. I think it's neat. That's for sure.
Neat. It's definitely like a neat option to have available to you.
Yeah.
Next we just have the event. This is at Rare. We already talked about this event. Card is insane. Like it's by far I think the best finisher Slime has access to now. Like this and then the 8 choice finisher.
Oh yeah.
Card's just really good. It's kind of unfair because they can't cancel. Next we have an event. This is a 1/1 event. Calamity Class Charybdis. 1/1. Put this in memory. At the beginning of your main phase, if this is in memory, choose a card in your waiting room. Put it face down into your memory. If your memory has 3 or more cards, you choose 3 face down cards in your memory. Put them into your waiting room. And if you put 3 cards into your waiting room, deal 3 damage to your opponent and put this card into your waiting room. And then the next effect is at the beginning of your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your memory, your opponent can pay 2 stock to choose a face down card in your memory and put it back into your waiting room. So you pay 1 to play this, and then 3 turns later, you get to deal 3 damage. And your opponent can pay 2 to slow that 3-turn timer down.
So the card's neat. The big issue with it, right, is they don't have to do it every turn. Right, you don't tax them every turn. They only have to do it once or twice when the game's over.
Yeah. If they pay 2 once, you have to go to a 4th turn. If they pay it twice, you have to go to a 5th turn. But like making them pay 4 just to stop this 3 damage, like it's probably a pretty big crunch on their resources, right?
Sure, but now you're playing a card that doesn't plus.
Yeah, no, this is basically a pay 1, ditch 1, deal 3, which is super good rate, but it's also really delayed.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
There's a world where like you can time your refresh to where you get a lot of memory compression off of this, but I don't know. You can kind of speed up if you play 2 of these. If you jam 2 into memory, then on your next turn you get to memory 2 cards, and then on the second turn after, the first one activates, memories 1, pops itself, deals 3, and then the second one memories 1. And then you get another memory on the 3rd turn, and then you burn again on the 4th turn. So you deal 3 on the 2nd turn, and then 3 on the 4th turn after. But at that point, you're pay 2, ditch 2, and just like hoping you build your hand back, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's neat for sure, but
It's cool. I don't think it's good, but it's very cool. It's very cool. Three
I
damage
don't.
is a lot. The climaxes we have historical moment. This is the standby, and then recently learned restraint is the other standby. We have the salvage split soul, which does not come foil, and the comeback also does not come foil. So I guess we're not playing that one.
Got to become foil. Only foil.
Moving into blue, the last stretch of cards here, we have User of Ifrit Shizu. This is a double rare. On attack, choose one of your other Demon Continent characters. It gets plus X until end of turn. X is the number of other Demon Continent characters you have times 500, so this is Shimakaze Kai. Pretty decent power pump. If you're pumping Clean Cut, it's really good. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what you're pumping in this set. I'm going to be real. And second effect, during your opponent's turn, when this card becomes reversed in battle, you can pay 1. If you do, rest this card, and at the beginning of your next Encore step, put this card into your memory. Wow, it's like the 1-0 Rimuru, except this one actually does go to memory.
this card's sweet.
Yeah,
This card
I
is
like
really
this.
cool.
It's a better Shimakaze Kai plus the second ability. So
yeah, so
this
it's a
great.
plussing 0, right? 'Cause you can
Love
play it.
it.
You can play it, and if they kill it, you get to pay 1 plus 1, and then it goes to memory. So it's a plussing 0. It's memory compression, and it's power pump if you need it. So lots of good stuff going on. Downside, it does die to like minus 500 effects. So maybe you're not always getting the plus and memory off of it, but otherwise, pretty solid card.
Fair.
This card
Yeah.
dies to a sneeze.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. If you're playing the mirror and your opponent plays the Shuna Brainstorm, this dies. But otherwise, like, card's pretty good. You know, you direct attack with it, they kill it, you pay 1, you try to direct attack and pump something else, and then it goes away. It's also kind of nice if you play this turn 1 attack and save it, and then turn 2 play your chaser, and then this goes to memory and opens up the whole board for your chaser to move to. It's kind of cool. But yeah, good card. This is another one of the cards that like kind of I wouldn't say easily slots into the old set 1 deck. It's not as easy to fit in as the chaser, but it does slot into that deck kind of well. Next card we have is Triumphant Return Rimuru. This is a 0/0 on play from hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a Demon Continent character, this gets +1 level and plus 1500. And then when this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, choose one of your other Demon Continent characters, rest it, and move it to an open position of your backstage. So we have another clean cut now. Set 1 had a blue clean cut that was a 2k anti-runner. Now this set has a clean cut. This one's a 3500 level 1 clean cut, though.
I like this one more.
This one comes shiny too, like really shiny.
This one comes
shiny.
SSP
Extra
plus.
shiny best.
SSP plus is the name of this rarity.
Yes, this rarity is shiny white.
Yes. Automatically better than the other clean cut.
Absolutely.
Funnily enough, the other clean cut has a really good reason to be played now that it didn't when it came out. In a world where Data Live exists and is playing large quantities of the Yoshino anti-change field swap bomb, the anti-runner clean cut stops it from field swapping.
Bro, your brain is so big.
So
like it is huge.
Oh my goodness.
So you can also that card's like 35. So if you have a way to pump power, the old clean cut can actually just farm the Yoshino and stop it from like field swapping and ruining your board state. In any other matchup, this one's probably better.
And this one's foil, the other one's not.
This one's also
Yes.
SSP plus.
Yeah.
I don't know why they made that a rarity. Like this could have just been
It-
SSP. The level 1 standby combo is also SSP plus. Yeah, good card. Next we have bad card. Shizu resolutely facing off. On play, search your deck for a Demon Continent character. And Climax combo, when this card attacks, if the draw trigger is in your Climax area and your memory has 4 or more cards, deal 4, and at the beginning of the Encore step, put this into your waiting room.
I hate it.
This card's awesome. I don't know what you guys mean. It's a free burn 4.
It is a free burn 4. And it, like, you only need 1 copy of it. So you play it, search the second copy, search the third copy. You need 4 memory is a lot. Like,
not really. You're obviously playing it with the other Shizu package in the mask.
So you're not intended to. You're actually like the deck is designed to play it with the new 1-0 Shizu combo with not the mask, but you can also play it with the mask one because it doesn't care what's in your memory. But yeah, you can get, if you're playing old Shizu, you're definitely getting the 4 memory pretty easy.
Oh yeah.
Free burn 4 is kind of cool. Burn 4 is a big number. Sometimes it just kills people outright. Sometimes it's really bad and cancels a lot.
Dude,
I think
burn 4 wins the game every time.
The more that we have moved into like the card design and stuff, getting a little stronger, like burn 4 has gotten worse and worse. Back in the days of Xenon, like burn 4 was kind of a decent finisher. It was a pretty good finisher. It could kill people because people weren't always compressed. Decks can compress so well now that like burn 4 is kind of only good if you have like stock swap and like
which this set
stuff.
does.
This set has stock swap on a 0. So in a world where you get a good stock swap, which costs you 3 stock, but your finisher doesn't cost stock, so trade-offs.
And your finisher searches for it.
Yes, the third copy that you play can just also search for it. So
yeah,
that's a notable way to play the finisher. Draw trigger is worse than gate, I think, but you gotta live with it, I guess, if you want to play this.
Yeah.
Next we have Reamer. Say something else about the card. Okay, guess not. Next we have Rimuru Fresh from a Bath. 0/0 If there's a marker under it, gets 2k. And on play, reveal top card of deck. If it is a Demon Continent character or anti-magic mask, put it under it as a marker. This is literally like the only card in the set that refers to mask.
They also should have let the Fruits of Wisdom go underneath it, in my opinion.
I think I can agree with that, yeah. Which we'll see a lot more cards referring to Fruits of Wisdom soon, but
I like 0/0 that marker cards, though.
yeah, this can also kind of slot into the set 1 deck as your oversize if you want. Next, we have Mock Battle Chloe. This is when it becomes reversed. Pay 1, discard a Demon Continent character, and put this into memory. Look at up to 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose a card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest into your waiting room. These profiles are, like, okay.
It goes to memory.
It goes to memory. Only looking at top 2 kind of sucks, but it can grab climaxes, so it's additional dig to try to, like, guarantee your level 1 combo. Because we all know that the set 1 deck kind of just completely flops if you don't draw your level 1 climax. Or at least it hurts a lot. So this gives you a little bit of extra dig for it.
I think this card's really good. I like memory.
Memory is good. We can agree with that. It does eat up stock that you would be using for like Rickies and masks though.
Yeah, but you could play this in the 8 choice deck.
Yeah, you could. There's nothing stopping you from doing that.
Allows you to loop level 1 combo a lot easier.
Sometimes, yeah. It helps you mostly, I think, with getting the first copy of the Climax.
That's fair.
Which is still relevant, like very relevant. I think in that deck it might also be even more relevant than in the set 1 build. Next we have the new Shizu level 1 combo. This is a 1/0 4000. It gets plus 1000 for each Fruits of Wisdom in your memory. And then Climax combo is when this attacks, if the gate triggers in your Climax area and you have 2 or more other Demon Continent characters, You look at up to 4 from the top of your deck, choose a demon continent character from among them, reveal it to your opponent, put it in hand, put the rest into your waiting room, and then you may choose to pay the cost. If you do, you can choose a Fruits of Wisdom in your waiting room and return it to your hand.
I like
This
that.
this card is a really cool design.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
This combo is... So, it's a lot of, like, stock upkeep to start getting it going, right? Because to even make this a
Yeah.
6k, like, on defense, you need two stock into it. And
Does
now,
the event pump power cross turn or just on your
no,
turn?
just on your turn. It's just like the sword in Adventure Time. So if you put 2 in memory, you have a 6k base, 7k with the events, 8k with Climax, and then on defense you're a 6k. If you get a third event, you're a 7k, fourth event you're a 1/0 8k, which is really big for a 1/0, but the problem is that that's still not big enough to scale into level 2, right? So I don't think that, like, this being able to scale as a really big 1/0 it necessarily matters.
I think the first effect is almost negligible.
Yeah.
I think this I wish it had a different power condition.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
do think the
Yeah,
climax
that's
combo is
fair.
actually pretty good.
Yeah, I
And it's
mean, check top 4 add 1 is just kind of like generically a playable combo, and then you also have the option
Mm-hmm.
to, if you have an extra climax in hand or something, just turn it into an event that you can play.
yeah, especially in a set like you're obviously playing 4 gates, so you do have the option of flooding.
Yeah, and I mean, even the draw triggers, right? If you hit a draw trigger and it just gives you a card you don't want, even if it's not a climax, you can turn it into the event.
Maybe the move
Yep.
is you play 8 gate with this level 1 combo and then the other level 1 combo.
You're playing a lot of events at that point.
Who cares?
Sure.
They all go to memory. Well, they all go to memory, right? So who cares?
Yes, they do all go
That
to memory.
confession.
We're just
But
playing 35 memory slime.
yeah, you just play like 4 of the
Let's do
mask, 4
this.
of the fruits, and then like 3 of the red finisher event.
Holy moly.
It's not that many. It's only 11. Like you
I'll
still
build
have.
it for fun now.
Oh, I'll build it. Don't worry. I love building bad decks.
Let's do this.
Oh boy. We'll have fun with that one.
You could probably play this with the red 2 one.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I think the other blue. I think the blue finisher is bad, but
I don't think this combo is ever realistically better than the set 1 combo.
I mean, check top 4 add one
But,
is
like,
good.
yeah.
It's
I think this is maybe like your budget option if you don't want to shell out like $60 for set 1 Shizu or whatever.
well. Also, if you just want to buy the foil, you can get nice cheap foils.
Also, yeah, these come SR, so
Yeah.
lovely. Yeah, cards overall, like, it's definitely not unplayable. Next we have Tempest Star Wolf Ronga. This is just a 1/1 anti-change bottom deck bomb.
The
So
fluffy boy.
yeah, big fluffy boy. As we were talking about with the 2/1 Shuna, right, the level 2 bomb, like, you have anti-change bombs if you want that, like, if that's what you're trying to do. Next we have Always By Your Side Shizu. This is 3/2/95, -1 level if you have 2 or less climax in waiting room, plus 500 for each of your backstage demon continents, so it's a 10/5. And on play, look at up to X, choose up to 1 card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest in waiting room. X is the number of demon continent characters you have. So this is dig for events, it's dig for climaxes. It's a 10/5 early play. Overall, pretty good card, especially in a set where every other early play just heals.
Yeah. I really like this profile personally because I like the ability to dig for like climaxes events or even like a finisher or something I'm personally missing in my hand.
Yeah.
So I really like this card. It's probably one of my favorite when they previewed the set, it's probably one of my favorite like initial previews I saw.
Yeah.
But
And if you
and it comes foil.
right.
They're pretty.
And if you are playing, like, if you didn't buy in with set 1, right, and you're playing pretty heavily out of set 2, This works well with the Shuna early play because you can play you can refresh, play this, check top 5, and then once you've filled your board, play the Shuna. So you can get like multiple early plays pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when we were talking about the set before we started the set review, Anthony, you said you really liked this card.
Yeah, I like that it's a 10-5 cross turn. I like these effects. I like the check top X add X, but I hate that it's my 2 or less climaxes. That's my least favorite early play condition.
Yeah.
It is the
Uh,
most
Um,
sort of like volatile, I guess.
Yeah, especially like I don't like it. I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. It's
Sure,
good,
sure.
but
it would be broken if it was like the 4 or more
I mean, that's just Jake the
condition.
dog, right?
Yeah,
Though,
Jake.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
Jake the dog
exactly.
is
I love Jake.
that card's gas. That card's really
I mean,
good.
I
Jake the dog is
love Jake so much.
Jake the dog is like the second best card in that set for a
Hmm.
reason.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
But I don't know.
sure.
I hate 2 climaxes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Next card we have a rare Climax combo, Shadow in the Darkness Soe. When this card attacks, if Shadow Squad is in your Climax area, put 2 cards from the top of your deck into your waiting room, deal X to your opponent, choose up to 3 cards in your opponent's waiting room, return them to their deck, and your opponent shuffles. X is the total number of soul triggers, soul in the trigger icons of the cards put into your waiting room by this effect. So if you mill a card with double soul trigger, that does count for 2 toward your X. And then it has shift level 0. So it's basically just one effect on the card.
Dude, this card's sweet.
Only being able to mill 2 is kind of awkward. Like, I would almost prefer if this was like pay 1 to be able to mill 3 or 4, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like mill 2 means like these are gonna deal 0 every now and then and just shuffle 3 back. And playing a level 3 with no on play effect to combo just shuffle 3 back feels awful.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
is this a climax where you choose 2 characters?
This
You
is
give them
the
plus
same
control?
exact Climax profile as the level 1 Shuna.
Uh,
If this was a gate,
No.
I might be down because like obviously you get 2 soul benefit off of like the combo, but at the same time, gate has 1 soul trigger anyway, and it's just a better climax.
yeah, I not a big fan.
I don't think this is like ever really a consideration.
You could probably like a 2
No.
soul 4 2 or 8 2 soul
Yeah, I mean
climax.
it's meant to be played with the Shuna 1-0 into that, but I don't know why. I don't think it's a
Eh.
good idea. Next we have Cool and Collected Soe. This is on play, discard 1, reveal top card of your deck, choose a level X or lower in your waiting room, return it to hand. X is the level of the card you revealed, and it also has shift. I think this card's pretty sweet. I like the ditch check top or like reveal top and salvage effect.
Hmm.
And shift lets you sort of get this a little more consistently because you're playing a lot of blue in these decks generally. I think.
Yeah. It's good to see shift.
Yeah, especially now that every card with shift is shift level 0 instead of like shift level 2, shift level 3.
This
Mhm.
is my first time seeing shift.
It's not printed very often, but used to. So
No.
like the Soe that we just looked at, if it had shift in older sets, it would have been shift level 3. So you would have had to have been level 3 in order to shift it.
Mm.
Mhm.
Which means that it was just useless text for like 90% of the game. But now they have shift level
Yeah.
0, so you can shift them from the beginning. Which normally you're still only going to want to be like shifting your 3s later at like 2 or 3. But being able to shift them at any point is pretty sweet. This set doesn't really have anything that it needs to be in clock for like clock condition early plays, so it's not as relevant there, but it is cool for, getting things into your clock that you want there. There's also a world where you're like at level 2 and you just like shift a climax right into your clock and then early play heal it off. Like it's
Mhm.
kind of cool, I guess, but decent utility card. Next, we have Solemn Expression Rimuru. This is plus 15 to your Demon Continent character in the middle position of your center stage, and Climax combo. At the beginning of your Encore step, you can send the Climax from your Climax area to your waiting room, mill 3, and then salvage a level X or lower, where X is the number of Demon Continent characters you put into waiting room. So it's just another, it's a level 0 low rarity combo that gets you 1 card off of playing the Climax.
Yeah.
It's not good. Not like
Are there any
No.
payoffs for playing a gate in this set or no?
no.
Oh, well,
No.
never mind. This card's bad.
Yeah. If this card's like other effect instead of plus 1500 power was like a good like when you trigger gate discard a card salvage or something like maybe you play it with just like a bunch of early play healers at that point. But next we have Final Push Rimuru 1045. Once per turn when you use an act gets plus X. X is 500 times the number of Demon Continent characters you have, so it goes up to 7,000 on a full board. And act, rest one of your Demon Continent characters. This gets on reverse. When it reverses battle opponent, you can put that character at the bottom of your opponent's deck. This beats things with Encore, and it beats things that need to go to memory. But it's not particularly big. Like if you use his ability to rest something, he goes to 7, which is like kind of big, but not enormous.
Yeah.
It's if you play this with the Shuna 0, you can pump him to 8. You can like rest the Shuna 0 and then trigger both effects and pump him to 8. Which is just big enough to contest like 1/1s with Encore, and if you bottom deck them, they can't Encore, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. It has its merits. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, it does.
But...
Now, if you're playing backups, it does get reasonably big on defense because it goes to 7, and then your backup also pumps it.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's kind of decent if you are playing a deck that wants backups. And this is also similar to the like 7Ks earlier. Maybe you can summon this off Ramorous, like just to attack at 7K.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true.
But not something you're going to be playing at like more than 1 copy probably, unless you're really going all in on the act effects. Next we have Temporary Retreat Gopta. 1/0 on a draw trigger. When this card attacks, if Great Combination is in your Climax area and you have another Demon Continent character, look it up to 4. Choose a level 1 or higher card from among them. Reveal it, put it in hand, and put the rest into your waiting room. So this can grab events, but it cannot grab level 0 characters. That's on a draw trigger.
Is this card a Yordle?
What?
Is it a Yordle?
Who?
The green dude.
The green dude? He's a goblin.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Goblin.
That's why his name's Gopta.
Gopta.
I was gonna say it was a Yordle rather than a wolf. But you guys know what Yordles are. It's a Yordle.
It's a Yordle. Decent combo, right?
Yordle.
I guess. I don't know. How do you feel about these? You said you liked the check top 4 add one. How do you feel about adding level 1 or higher versus adding traded characters?
So I hate Cheeries. Hate them with everything inside of me because I miss them every single time. This card is a really good budget option, I think.
Yes, agreed.
I think if you're playing Weiss on a budget, or if you buy a few packs or something, and you can throw together 4 copies of this with 4 copies of the Climax to finish your deck, it's pretty playable.
Okay.
Otherwise, this card's a 5K that never gains power, so like you might just lose to their Goblin Slayer 1/0s, and it's fine.
All right, so
good budget option.
If Ken is still watching this video at this point, he's gonna kill me for letting you say Chiiri instead of Fukazero. But
yeah, well, it's a Chiiri.
All right.
You're the one who taught me that.
Yeah, he's been petitioning to. So on Death, we've always called Chiiri, right? On Death, checked out ditch 1, checked out 4, add 1. He's been pushing to rename the ones that only grab level 1 or higher and let Chiiri only refer to the ones that grab trait. But
sure. But
we'll
when I first started playing Weiss, I asked you what the profile was called, and you said Chiiri.
Yeah, that's what we've always called it.
So. Sure. But the card I played was the 0/0 from Slime, the blue headed monster streamer.
Yeah.
Just turn cards sideways. It's easy. Call it whatever you want.
Also, this card has way to get power. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, but like this
Oh.
card getting events is cool in my 11 event deck.
Yeah, maybe you just play this as your combo.
Yes.
I
uh,
actually like draw triggers more than I like gates, but that's neither here nor
Oh.
there.
Yikes. Next card we have
Yeah,
Taking a Break, Rimuru. That's a 2/1 2500 backup. When you use the backup, pay 1, sack a Demon Continent character. Give one of your opponent's characters -1 soul. It is a
neat.
cheap-ish sack counter.
It's neat.
It's neat. I don't know if you play it, but it's
Like
neat.
the neat soul,
I,
but
I'm
like yeah, it's neat.
I'm shocked you haven't made a comment about her armpits.
Well, it's a he. Well, okay, it's a
Oh
genderless
my,
slime. Um, Also, he's wearing a
they
shirt that covers them up.
they have quite. I mean, use your imagination. Come on now.
Next
I
card, we have
know.
Truth of the Tale Shizu. This is a 2/1 5k. If your memory has 2 or more Fruits of Wisdom, this card gets Assist. All of your characters in front of this card get plus 1500 power. That's a pretty big assist.
Ooh.
And then, when this card is placed on
Yeah.
stage from your hand, you can choose the level 1 combo Shizu from your waiting room and put it in stock. So if you're playing the level 1 combo and the events is a 2/0 1500 assist, but you had to pay 2 stock to get the events into memory. And then on play, you can discard a Climax to salvage.
Dude, see, you're just making this. You're making my
This,
deck choice very easy.
I think if you're playing the Fruits of Wisdom deck, this assist is like actual gas. This assist is really good.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
makes my early play Shizu's what 12Ks.
Well, yeah, the check top X ones, yeah.
Yeah, no. The from set one.
Oh, yeah. If we're going that far,
We
yes,
are.
I think it also makes them 12Ks.
12Ks with character encore, my man. We're
All
doing it.
right, yeah, 12Ks with character encore that you can't ditch any of your events to. We'll take it.
I'm not playing that many events.
Good card. This card's good if you're playing Fruits of
11.
Wisdom. Next we have When Push Comes to Shove, Gopta, 2/175, gains 1,000 if all your characters are Demon Continent. And at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay 1, choose this card and one of your Demon Continent characters, and exchange them as stand. It's a 2/185 field swap, but it's only 85. I don't really know what you're field swapping around that's like super relevant.
Yeah, I don't.
It like saves an early play, I guess. If you want to like
Maybe.
pay one, move an early play to a lane where it doesn't die or something.
This card's just strictly
That's
worse than the ones that are also like
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
anti
yeah.
changes.
Oh yeah. Those are insane.
super
This card is like
situational.
very medium.
Meh.
Next we have the 3/2. I didn't even put the text on this one.
Feisty boy.
I'm dumb.
Good job,
We
Connor.
talked about this card earlier though.
Yeah.
It's
This
just
card's so good.
-1 level if you have 2 or more of
Feisty boy.
the Cool Beauty Shion, and then you get to summon it.
This
So,
card's also going in my 11 event deck.
you're playing
Look
a
at
lot of
his
cards.
face.
But yeah, this card obviously you play it if you play the whole package. Like we talked about the Shion, we gave our thoughts on that. This card's super vanilla, so like you're only playing this
Yeah.
if you're playing the Shion. Next we have To Survive, Soe. This is a 0/0/500. When you trigger check a double soul trigger, you can discard a Demon Continent character to salvage a character. So instead of getting gate support like you wanted, we just got double soul trigger support. And it is a pay 1, rest self, brainstorm for 5, and for each double soul trigger climax you hit, you get to search.
Huh.
Okay, so first off, this card as itself is really powerful.
Yeah, they like really wanted to push the double soul triggers.
No, like this card, if those double soul triggers were any other climax trigger, would be a 4 of in your deck.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh yeah. For sure.
This card, the first effect by itself is really good. The second effect by itself is really good. Too bad it's on a double soul trigger. I mean, that's kind of just how my thought in it.
Yeah, agreed. Next we have a combination with Gobta Tempest Wolf. This is 0/0/1k. All of your other temporary retreat Gobta get 1,000. That's the level 1 combo. And then on play, discard a Demon Continent character from your hand. to search your deck for the level 1 combo, put it in your hand, and rest this to give a character plus 1500 power.
Okay, so I think that the level 1 combo is good now.
Yeah, so this is kind of Ricky, but instead of, well, it doesn't plus, but it also doesn't cost stock. So it's just like hand fixes
Yeah.
into your level 1 combo, so it's like consistency on tri-fielding them. And it makes them 6Ks if you have 1 copy. It makes them 7 if you have 2 copies, but I don't think you really want 2 copies.
No, that might be just
But
overkill.
like, it gives you a 6K conditionless plussing combo, pretty much. And you can rest it to pump 1 to 7/5, and then they're 8/5 with the Climax. So like, you get good power lines. I think this really does make the Gobta like a consideration for your Climax combo. If Gobta was on a gate over a draw, I'd be even more excited, but he's on a draw trigger. Which, you said you like draw triggers, so
I hate having climaxes in my hand. I really do.
that's fair. That's fair. I'll accept that answer. Next up, we have Within a Blissful Dream. Shizu is a 500 assist. Pay 1, discard 1, rest of this, search. It's a drop search, but it's repeatable.
Hey,
That's kind of cool. I don't think you have room for this, though. You have so many good zeros.
no. Oh, I know. Where could this fit, though? I'm not.
I don't think it fits anywhere, really. I'm gonna be real. Like,
No,
there's so
like it
many good
really
zeros.
doesn't unless you just unless it's in like a budget build or something.
Yeah,
Maybe?
yeah.
This card
Like
looks like the image was taken from like a 1950s film with like the background and like her facial
Yeah.
expression.
Yeah. Okay. I can see it. I can see it.
yes. Agreed. Like yeah. It
Uh,
needs more grain though.
Next, we have Thirst for Revenge Phobio. This is on play. You put top 2 into waiting room, and it gets plus X until end of turn. X is 1,000 times the number of Demon Continent characters you mill. And then act, pay 1, sack this to add the Calamity class Charybdis event to your hand from waiting room.
Okay, so hear me out. You play this card with the clean cut and the event.
Like
So,
maybe,
like-
Okay,
yeah,
Mad
sure,
Lad.
maybe that's fine.
Well, I mean-
if the event's good, then that's good.
Yeah, but the event's fine. I mean, burn 3.
Yeah, I guess. Next card, we have Loyal Subordinate Soka. This is on play from hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a Demon Continent character, give a character 2K. And then on play from hand, you can choose a Demon Continent character in your waiting room and the bottom card of your clock and exchange them.
Oh.
I have no idea what you're supposed to be exchanging clock for. I'm gonna be real.
Oh, I have no idea
Like,
either,
there's
but
the Hakuro early play that needs the brainstorming clock.
Mhm.
But if there's another card that needs clock, I don't remember what it is.
All right,
So I don't
hear
know
me
what
out.
this is doing.
You
Oh,
level.
what is
you,
your hot take? Oh goodness.
You level a climax so you can have your early play condition.
Uh-huh.
This isn't exchange level though. This is exchange bottom
Oh.
card of clock.
You're right. This card's not good. I can't read or listen.
All right, next card. 1/1 Victory Celebration Soe. Beginning of climax phase. Give one of your characters the following ability. Continuous. This gets plus X power. X is equal to this card's soul times 1500. This is slightly better than the effects where they're like on attack, pump 1,000 times soul, because those only pump the power like immediately. So if you trigger a soul trigger, they don't factor that in. Since this gives a continuous effect, it does factor in your trigger, which is kind of cool. And then act, pay 2, rest this card to return one of your opponent's characters to hand, and act, pay 1, rest this card to give one of your opponent's characters -1 level. So this is another card that can help you with like the cool side attack manipulation thing on the 8 choice finisher.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
true.
also like a bounce effect, like just act, bounce one of your opponent's characters.
So I wish that the pay 2 was pay 1, ditch 1.
If the pay 2 was pay 1, ditch 1, it also
And I wish the third
didn't
effect
have
was
to
something
rest
else.
itself, right? Yeah.
Yeah, or was just something
Yeah.
else.
If this was just Michelle, this would be pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Is that the bear?
Yeah.
The bear's the best.
I think this card's like fine. It has a soul trigger, so I guess justifiable in 8 choice, I think.
Nah. It's blue.
I don't think it's great. So is the Ranga, though.
Yeah, it's blue though.
Alright.
But it's Ronka.
Next card, Beastmaster Carrion. On play from
Yeah,
hand.
it's blue at level 2.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you don't want to be playing the double color level 1, sure.
Yeah.
Beastmaster Carrion is on play, discard 1, choose a copy of himself from your waiting room, return it to your hand. And when this becomes reversed, if battle opponent is cost 0 or lower, put it at the bottom of your opponent's deck. I guess it's kind of cool, but I don't know why you're just flooding your board with cost 0 bombs.
Yeah, I don't.
This is literally
get it.
just the Sakura clock bomb from Fate, but way worse. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
All right, card's bad.
yeah. Alright.
Just bad.
Precise Instructions Gabiru, 217k on attack. This card gets plus X power until end of turn. X is equal to the number of other Demon Continent characters you have times 1,000. And Encore, put a Demon Continent character from your hand into your waiting room.
Hmm.
He attacks for 11 and has Encore.
Wait.
Probably not big enough.
What is this character? Like,
A
He's like a dragon dude.
he has you ever see those like shark gummies?
yes.
Yeah.
That's his tail.
Yeah.
His
yeah,
tail
you're
is a
right.
shark gummy.
His tail is a shark gummy. God.
Oh man, this is just horrible.
11k is probably not big enough.
No, I don't. I think if it was like a 13k,
Yeah, then it's good. But
if it was like when it was placed, it got plus power instead of attacking or something. But it's just not good.
yeah.
No.
Next we have Fruits of Wisdom. We've talked about this card a number of times. You play it if you're playing the package around it. You probably don't play it otherwise.
I just don't think the package around it is good enough to play it.
Probably not.
It's not like the
Mhm.
Adventure Time one where the sword is generating your stock and card advantage.
Yeah.
This one just does nothing.
Next we have 2/2 event, Coincidental Meeting with the Future. Choose 2 cards in your level, return them to your hand. Choose 2 cards in your hand or waiting room, put them into your level in any order.
This card
So
is
yes, now you can do the thing you wanted to do by leveling a Climax.
Yeah. Is this card censored or just really bright?
No, it's just really bright.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, but
It's
It is English.
It's kind of cool. You can level your Climax. You can level your event and tutor events with it, but you would also have to draw this event. So like,
And pay 2 stock.
and pay 2 stock. Yeah, so not worth it. Not worth
No.
it.
And it doesn't even.
It's a plus 2.
Plus.
It's a plus 2. You put 2 cards from level to hand, or it's a plus 1. Sorry. You put 2 cards from level to hand, and then put 2 cards from waiting room into level.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
It says choose 2 cards in your hand or waiting.
or waiting room. Yeah.
The big or.
Yeah, the big or.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that card's probably not great.
No.
If it was a 2-1, it'd be good.
Oh,
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah.
It would be much better
Then
than
we have
being a 2-2.
billion blue climaxes. You have a draw trigger for the finisher, gate trigger for the level 1 combo, 2 soul trigger that's bad, draw trigger for the level 1 combo, and gate trigger for the level 0. So you have 2 gates, 2 draws, and a 2 soul. Promos, we have box toppers, Petite Shion, 215k. If you have another level 3 or higher character, it gets 4k. And if you have 2 or more other characters, it gets 3k.
This card's nuts.
If you played an early play, this is a 12k, like cross turn.
It's a 2-1 12k. This card's really good.
I love it.
I think it's a really good power line. And you have a number of early plays in yellow anyway, so card's probably fine. I don't think it's as good as like some sets have the early plays that are on play, draw a card, play a cost 1 or lower from hand for free.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really good if you had one of those. Next we have Petite Rimuru. This is just on play from hand, pay 1, search your deck for a copy of itself, put it onto your stage. It's a plus, but it's not a good plus.
He looks French in this picture.
What?
She got like a little French hat.
That's
the mask.
I know it's the mask, but it looks like a little beret.
Okay, I can see it now. Now that you mentioned it, I can definitely see a beret.
But
like, I really like for the promos, the box toppers, like all of them, I like the artwork.
Yeah, they have nice artwork.
Except, yeah, it's really nice artwork. Like it's super cute. So
I also think this card's actually not a terrible plus.
It just gets you another 25, right? Like, just play your Ricky, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of pluses already in this set.
Next we have Petite Millum, 105k. On attack, choose one of your other Demon Continent characters, gets plus X till end of turn. X is the number of other Demon Continent characters you have times 500. It's Shimakaze Kai. This is a red 1-0. If you needed your body to be attacking for 5,000 power, then sure, but otherwise just play the double rare Shizu, right?
yeah.
It's the same power pump, and it's just better otherwise. Next we have 2/1/45 Petite Shuna. When your other character becomes reversed, give a character plus 2,000 power, which is enormous. And then it is a spammable pay 1 salvage brainstorm. So you salvage and then discard for each climax you hit.
So first time I read this card, I read it, and I was like, "Holy crap, this card's powerful!" And then I looked down at the power line and saw it was a 4,500. I'm like, "Wait, this is not a 0/0." And then I look up and it was a 2/1.
It's a 2/1. Yeah. Yeah,
That
this is a 0/0. This card would be nuts.
Yeah, I'd be way too good.
This would be
Like,
a 0/0
way
yeah.
too good.
negative 1,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like 3 demerits on it.
I still think this card's pretty good though.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I think the first effect though is a lot less impactful late game,
Yeah.
but it's bigger power
But like
lines.
if they kill one of your lanes, you get to like probably save a different one because 2k power is a lot.
Yeah, but you don't want your stuff to get reversed in the red decks.
No,
I don't
you
know.
don't.
No. Yeah.
Sometimes
it
you can't.
doesn't
Sometimes
work
you just
for-
can't save a lane though. Like
That's fair.
if you're playing like the Geld, right, and they kill your Geld, and you pump 2k in one lane and then sack it to pump 4k in the other lane, that's pretty sweet. It's a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
And the last box topper is Petite Shizu. It's a 0/0/1k. When damage dealt by it is not cancelled, this gets plus 6,000.
This card is insane.
I love it. She's so cute.
She cute.
She very cute.
I don't think this profile is good.
I definitely don't think this profile is better than like the 0035 chaser.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. No.
Oh my god. Like on first deck, they're probably not canceling your swing for 1 or 2, but at the same time, it's like it's just a 0/0/1k if they do, and it's gonna die on the crackback. So like,
The variance of them canceling and
it's just not worth it.
dying.
If you swing into their 35 with this and they do cancel, like, cool,
Yeah.
you blew yourself out. Like,
Yeah.
lost your character and they didn't take damage. So
Yeah.
not great. Not great.
Cute art though, for sure.
The last box topper is Anti-Magic Mask. This is a reprint from the set 1 trial deck. Good
I
card.
love this artwork.
Oh, really?
I do.
I was really hoping that we were gonna get a foil.
No foil.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would hope it'd come in foil, but I prefer this artwork versus the TP.
The other artwork is just like I don't even know.
The mask.
Yeah,
It's just the mask.
I mean, this artwork's better, I guess. But
Alright.
It has more jazz to it.
Next we have Nostalgic Form Rimuru. This was the September shop promo. It's a 0/0/500. Once per turn, when you use an act ability, give a character 1,000, and act rest, give a character 500 cross turn. I still don't know why we're playing act packages in this deck. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just going to be one of those things.
Yeah,
like, maybe figure out where it fits in the set, but
yeah,
right now, I just don't see it personally.
Don't think it's great.
No.
And the last promo, this one is actually not released yet. This is the promo that you get for having 2 or more points at the end of the Shop League season. So these will be available in... people will have earned them in about 3 more weeks, and it might be up to about 7 weeks before they actually send them out. I don't know. But these will be available from Shop League. Tasting for the first time, Reamer 002,000. If you have 6 or more cards in your hand, this gets plus 1500 power, so it is a 35. And then beginning of Encore step, if you do not have another rest character in your center stage, you can pay 1 to rest it. So it's a 3500. It's an oversize, and if they kill it on if you play this turn 1 and they manage to answer it, you can pay 1 to save it.
I think this
Yeah.
card's really good.
I think this card's pretty solid. I think you do have enough other good oversizes that you definitely don't have to be playing this or anything. But
I guess I have to play Shop League now so I can get
Cards are
points so I
pretty
can
good.
get this card.
Yeah, probably.
Super cute card too. I love the artwork.
These cards also kind of bother me because they don't exist without the stamp. So all the copies of this just have the gold stamp on it.
Darn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that is the last card that we have. So, thank you all for watching. You have any last thoughts on the set before we end it?
Set's really good. Set's probably going to be top 3 deck in the game when it comes out.
It's definitely been super impactful in the Japanese meta, for sure.
Yeah, I think realistically right now it's this Kaguya and Data Live. So I like this.
Yeah.
I like this deck for sure because you have 3 or 4 different builds that are actually just viable.
Yeah, you can play 8 choice, you can play 8 standby, you can play the set 1 deck. They're all just good.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
It's definitely flexible, and that's what I like about this set.
Yeah, lots of options for sure.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm definitely excited to build into the set for sure.
all right, well, anyone else that's out there excited to build into the set, you can check out Iron City Games on Facebook or Twitter, or TCG Player, ironcitygames.tcgplayerpro.com. We have playset pre-orders up, and we will have singles up on Friday when the set comes out. If you want to check out my Twitter, that's going to be at Boats Don't Sink, and you can find Hilary at GothMomTCG. So check us out there, give us a follow, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment with your thoughts on the set, and we will see you next time.
There's one more thing too.
One more thing.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you to include it in the video.
Oh, yeah.
But we have promo codes now, so for our content creators, I guess this will only be for the people who actually watch the whole video. But for our content creators, we have promo codes for it's ICG Connor and ICG Hilary, and you'll get a discount on your playset pre-orders. Just to see, kind of a competition between our content creators to see who gets more people to buy playsets. Also,
there's no way I win that.
I mean, but it's also
yes.
it's also a way to thank y'all for watching our videos and showing us the continual support. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to all of us for sure. So, thanks again for watching.